All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth and that ruled well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. We are here once again with another weekly edification, letting you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans know you are the chosen of Israel according to the scriptures. All right, and as we go into every week, according to the prophecies inside the scriptures. All right, and this is one of the things that we harp on, quite often. Prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. The scriptures say, hey, the spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. All right, this is what a lot of things that go over people's head is, again, the prophecies, man. All right, I actually just had this conversation with somebody yesterday about this. They was talking about going into, they're doing their reading, they're studying and everything else like that, and going into Moab and Ammon and stuff like that, and just some of the different nations and things like that. And I brought it out to them. It's like, look, what good is knowing any of this here stuff? You should be asking these questions. Who are these people today? And how do you know who these people are today? Based off of what? And you go into these things, hey, it's based off of prophecy, man. These other nations know who they are, all right? Because a lot of them, they still have, again, going into prophecy, it was prophesied about Israel that they would discontinue from their heritage, man. All right, so like the only people on the earth that don't really know who they are, now granted, the Edomites, right, they know who they are at the higher levels, right? The Edomites and the Amalekites know who they are at the top levels. And when you get to these regular everyday Edomites, they don't really know who the hell that they are. All right, they're part of the, it's just like when you look at Amalek over there, all right, the majority of those Amalekites walking around, they don't know who they are. They believe that they actually are who they say that they are, because this is how the, how do I say, the impersonation or whatever works. All right, they got to confuse their own people on the lower levels. And no, this is, we got to pretend to be these folks. But instead of telling them to pretend to be these people, they just raise them up as if they are these people, so that they don't know no better, man. Like, I thought I was this the whole damn time. I never knew I was this. I never knew I was that. All right, just like, hey, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans here in America, there was a point in time where you knew that you was a slave, man. But nowadays, they raise you up, and they don't tell you that you're a slave. They tell you, oh, no, we're Americans. We're all equal. But yet and still, you doing the same damn job as a goddamn slave, man. You don't have no realization that it's like, look, man, they just stopped calling us slaves, and they called us equals as these folks, but we're not really equal. Just like those folks over there call themselves, those imposters, those gutter rats over there call themselves, well, we'll just put it this way, the seed of the Most High. But in reality, hey, man, that's the wicked over there, man. All right, so, hey, these nations know who they are. But, the more important thing is what? The prophecies, man. All right, now, and going into that, I had a little question about how do you know about, people's, how do I say, their ideology of America. They have one or two things. Either America's not written in the Bible, because the biblical times, it stopped way back in the olden days. They didn't talk about what will go on in the future. Like, well, and this goes to show, how they say, when you reason with somebody, man, all right, like, all right, well, I know you ain't really read the Bible because, or you don't have the eyesight, because, yeah, there's a so-called, not to say an endpoint into the Bible, right, but as far as them tracking certain things, let's put it this way. If somebody was logging into a journal, right? They write in today's date, next week's date, and so on and so forth. You can read their journal, right? And if they're talking about certain things, well, they was logging into this here journal about these different things. But let's say in the last entry of their journal, right, they said that this is what I'm planning on doing. People have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, my goals for the next 10 years. And they wrote those things down. Hey, my 5-year goal is to, you hear the sound outside. Hey, I'm going to be a construction guy or buy these big-ass buildings and build a skyscraper, man. All right? Matter of fact, what you can see, there's I don't know what the fuck they building, whether it's another skyscraper or whatever they building up over here, and there's one across the street getting built, right? But nevertheless, before all this happened, they wrote down these plans, and now you're seeing it being worked out. Now, the architect, the blueprints of this here building that's getting built, that shit was already constructed some years back, man. All right, they had to get the plans, the go around and everything, all the permits for all these different things. So as they was actually scribing this stuff and writing it down, that might have been 5-10 years ago. They stopped writing the entries into the book or the blueprints. They stopped drawing on the building, and you can say, well, that's the last time they made an entry. The last time they revised this here document was 5 years ago. That's not the end of the so-called agenda, all right, because right now they out here constructing, man. All right, and that vision is not going to be complete until they cut the ribbon and then they start going inside the building, man. But right now, they're still in the construction phase, man. So you can't say, hey, because they're no longer drawing out the works, they're not creating more blueprints, they're not making more sketches, they're not pulling more permits, that they're done writing in this here book. No, man, on this here project. No, man, they're just in a different stage. So the same way here with the scriptures, man. Yeah, there was a point in time where they were writing into the scriptures and things like that. But then now we have, again, going into the prophecies, you have all this is being played out. And we're living in these times right about now, man. All right, Esau, the wicked being revealed and everything else like that, man. All right, and going back to the point I was making about America being written in the Bible, they have one or two things. Oh, the Bible it was done. All right, they already wrote everything that was in the Bible. Now we're living in a whole nother uncharted time. I'm like, so let's divide the Bible into three parts. You got the Adamites all the way up into Noah, right? The first generation that was written about. The second generation was written about Noah all the way up into the Lord. Then you got from the Lord all the way up until us now, and none of that was written about in the Bible, bruh. Like after the Lord died, you know what I'm saying? Like that was it. They didn't write anything else about the Bible. Like we just all living in just some like limbo. Everything else was important enough to write and to dictate and to control. God had his hand on everything in the first two parts of the world. But the third part of the world is just running rampant. And it's just not even written about. God didn't think about going past that time frame, But that's not what's going on. But the other note is what they'll say is these Christians, America is, they'll go into the narrative of, this is the land of milk and honey. This is the land of the righteous. This is the land of the saints. This is God's land and everything else like that. And in reality, it was at a certain point in time. It's still God's land, but, at a certain point in time, because, you had Jake that came over here, man. And the scriptures speak about that. You've taken these two nations and these two lands, all right, which the southern kingdom was, we were over in Jerusalem, right? And the northern kingdom was over here first, man. And Esau came and took these lands from them. But nevertheless, all this stuff was actually written about in the scriptures, man. And it plays a major and important role, especially in these end-time prophecies, man. So about, you talk about things that was written in the scriptures and everything else like that, and again, let's just say the three parts. You have the Adamites, and they're, all the way up until Noah, all right? Then the Noahites, all the way up until the time of the Lord, right? Then you have this here time frame, right? When you're speaking about these here things, let's just say all the way up to the time of the Lord, because that's, when you read in the Bible, that's what they so-called write about, right? Well, what people perceive that they write about, right? But in reality, you have more stuff written about the times that we're living in now than all those other things, man. Because when you go in, in the Old Testament, a lot, the prophets, what the hell was they prophesying about, man? All right, they were prophesying about future things, man. All right, and a lot of these things have double meanings, and they come back into the times that we're at now. All right, when you go into a lot of these things, just think about it. You got to give a decoding type of message or descriptive message to tell somebody something, man. This is the first and the only captivity where we didn't know who we were. All the other captivities, we knew who we were. We didn't necessarily need something to tell us about all these different things. This is why the times that we're living in now, we're living in that, what they say, gross darkness. All right, darkness has covered the people in, how does it say? Let me see if I can find that. Is that 15? Nah, let me just. Thought it was 15. Might have been 14. I guess it's verse 2 then. Alright. This is Isaiah 60 and verse 2. Hold on. Isaiah 60 verse 2. It says, let me start at we'll just get to the point. Verse 2. Isaiah 60 and 2 says, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be upon thee. It shall be seen upon thee." All right, and so, this is a point in time where we have, gross darkness. There's another precept. Give me 1 second. Second Ezra. I want to say chapter 3. Hang on. Give me 1 second. Let me find this precept real quick. Oh, wrong. Hang on. chapter 5. It's chapter 6. Second Ezra 6 and 20, right? So we were just going about the gross darkness over the people, right? This is Second Ezra 6 and 20. Started 18. It says, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world shall begin to vanish away, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall be hid altogether. And going into these things, man, the point I'm trying to make is about the time frame that we're living in, getting back into, America being written in the scripture. There was that gross darkness that covered the people. People thought that this was, like the scripture also speak about in 2 Corinthians. All right. Oh. 11 and 13, 14. No, let's go to 13. 2 Corinthians 11 and 13, it says, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. And therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. All right, and so, hey, you have this also going to 2 Thessalonians that go into the same thing as well, too. About, let's go into that real quick. 2 Thessalonians. Let me just get to, we'll read 3 and then we'll go to 8. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. All right, going into, Jake falling off. Like I said, every captivity we knew who we were, except for this time frame, this time period, man. Every time we knew where we were and what things were to be. You go back to Daniel and that statue. All right, they give you the different time frames or the different rulerships and the things that we would be in. All right, but then, we've had that, that so-called prophecy for, all of our lifetime as far as America goes, as far as, as the United States goes, We've had that prophecy this whole time, right? And, even in my lifetime, I've always seen that that image, right? The actual image being, depicted and broken down to what's going on. But never really have you ever seen, not that I've seen, not outside of the truth, right? As far as just growing up as a Christian. Never have I ever seen at the very bottom of those feet, go from the Roman Empire into what we have today. All right, they don't ever go into those depictions of those things, but they could follow and track all these different, rulerships and time frames and everything else like that. But then now all of a sudden we come to, they have a term called the Dark Ages. But now we come to a time where it's like, like they say, darkness has covered the people. All right, their eyes don't understand what's going on, but yet they would say, oh, we're God's people. They came over and called themselves what? Anglo-Saxons, the angelic sons of Isaac, right? They called themselves the righteous. They called themselves, the tribe of Judah and all these different things. So the mindset of these people is, oh, this must be, and look at the irony of all this here stuff, man. Let's go to this real quick, and I can read that in Ezekiel 36, but what came to my mind was that Ezekiel 35? It might be Obadiah, but it might be Ezekiel 35. Let's find it. Ezekiel 35 and 10. It says, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Now think about that, man. All right, we were the one. Both of these lands was ours, but now who is the one that's trying to imitate us? And not only imitating us, they also took our so-called quote-unquote headquarters, man. Posted up into our spots, man. All right, so just nevertheless going into all these things. Now all this here stuff is being, the point I'm trying to make here is, we're at a time now where all these things are being revealed. The son of perdition, the man of sin, is being revealed, man. All right, but yet now we're at this point in time, like I said, where the truth is coming forth, and you start to see all these things going back to, oh, America wasn't written about in the Bible, or if America was written about in the Bible, it's from a perspective of these are the so-called righteous people on the earth. But when you think about it, listen how is Isaiah speak on it in Isaiah 14, and I want to say verse 4. We can Isaiah 14. Well, let's start at verse 4. Point is in verse 6. It says, and thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how has the oppressor ceased, and the golden city ceased? Now again, modern day churches, they read this, you know what I'm saying? If they read this and they go through these things, they'll never put two and two together. The golden city. All right, you know, now when this was some years ago, maybe a decade ago, maybe 20 years ago and stuff like that, you literally had a saying about this where foreigners and things like that, they would have the perception of America, all right, it was like, yo, it's the city with the streets literally paved of gold, man. They literally have the streets paved of gold over there. There's just, and you think about it, like really in reality, all right, you know, you think about it from some of these other countries and where these other people live at, you know, America is like a golden city, like with a lot of different things, man. You know, for instance, you know, like you look over in Europe, you look over in like India and things like that, they're not driving big ass SUVs over there. Let me just show you a small flex. Like, see, it's not really a flex to us, but to them, it's like, god damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got enough money to drive around in that gas guzzling Hummer. You know what I'm saying? You driving this big ass Tahoe. You know what I'm saying? Over there, they don't drive shit like that, man. All right? Because they're conservatives, man. They don't have, like, I was talking to somebody about this as well the other day. All right? So now in the line of work that I work in, and this may be somewhat of a Florida thing because, you know, people come here to retire and things like that. But as a part of my job, you know, I'll go out and I do services at people's homes and things like that, right? And in the neighborhoods I work in pretty much all, they all rich Edomite neighborhoods that I work in. Because obviously for you to be able to pay for this service, that's where they fucking sit. But nevertheless, I was having this conversation with somebody, like, you know what, as privileged, you know, I was thinking about that in, Lord's will we'll get to it, was Isaiah 47, thou that dwellest carelessly, right? You know, going into all these things. See, and this is going into further than the point. I wanted to grab some other precepts, but we'll just jump on into it. All right, as far as proving that Babylon the Great is actually written, or America is actually written about in the scriptures under the guise of Babylon the Great, right? You know, and people, they don't put these two together. You go to any churches, you ask them, they talk, you know, they'll tell you about Babylon is a bad place. Babylon is the arch enemy of this and that. Babylon, you don't want to be in Babylon. Babylon. Everything about Babylon that you could learn about in church is always bad. But they'll have the narrative of America being so-called good, but then they don't put the two and two together. Like, this is that place that they're talking about, man. They don't merge these two images into one. I'm like, no, this is like they talking about these things is happening, but this is actually what's popping off, right? Let me get back into where was we at? Ah, shit, I just dropped it. Oh, in Isaiah 14 and 4, it says, and thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased and the golden city ceased? And again, going back into, like I said, some of the, how do you say, not the privileges, but the, you know, just America living in certain types of ways. Oh, this is the point I was making about working out in these neighborhoods, right? And again, this may be a Florida thing because mostly people come here to Florida to so-called retire and vacation, right? You know, I know of like one of the largest retirement places in all of America. You know, it's just a fucking community with a bunch of like old people that go over there and they retire in these little homes that they get. But anyway, so yeah, in the line of work that I'm at out at these Edomite homes and stuff like that, and just looking at how privileged that these people are to have multiple homes, right? And I was talking to somebody like this. I was like, yo, you know, Jake we used to flex like this when we was in school. Yeah, I got two houses, my mama house and my daddy house, or my mama house, my daddy house, and my grandmama house. So we young Jakes flexing like we got multiple houses. Well, it's just that we fucked up out here, you know what I'm saying? We got to be between our mama house and our daddy house, and might be at our grandmama house. So we think we got multiple houses. But in reality, it's like, yo, there's some Americans, there's quite a bit of Americans, and these ain't like, when I say these are some rich Edomites, I'm not talking about no celebrities and no shit like that. We just talking about regular millionaire fucking Edomites that maybe they doctors, lawyers, got a little business. You won't know who the fuck these people are, man. You know what I'm saying? I be seeing Lambos, Ferraris, all kind of shit all goddamn day long. You stop and talk to any of these people, you ask them what they do, they just probably got a regular ass job. Not a regular job, but they're like, I'm regular in the sense is, I'm not on TV, I'm not a celebrity, I'm not this and I'm not that. They'd be like, oh, I'm a doctor, or I own a business, or I own this, or I own that. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that these people do, right? But anyway, I'm saying that to say this because you think of a Jay-Z or Beyonce, this is being normal to them. But I'm talking about just some Like you see them in the grocery store, you wouldn't even think twice about these folks. But anyway, going into these here people, man, this is like one of the only places in times that I've ever seen where you have people who have multiple homes. Like, not like you got a house and you got a timeshare somewhere, or you got a house and you got you know, like, well, I guess a timeshare. There's another term for like a timeshare, but like a vacation piece that you paying into and shit like that. No, we talking about multiple homes, right? And we're not talking about no little cheap home. Like I said, the retirement people that come down here, the homes they buy, you can go get a brand new one of them for like $50,000. You know, it's a little modular home. We talking about 2-3 car garage, you know what I'm saying? 2-story homes, 5-acre lots. And then on the inside of their damn garage, you know what I'm saying, they be having $60,000, $70,000 cars. I was telling them, I was like, yo, I know a dude who, one dude, all right, 2 guys, they live on the same street. One guy used to play for the Buccaneers. Now he's like a coach. It's, you know, it's obvious why the fuck he be traveling multiple places and got multiple homes and everything. But the other guy down the block, he just owned like I want to say tile or something. They sell some shit, right? He got business where he's distribute tiles or something, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. The guy that make bricks and distribute bricks, that nigga's a millionaire. Or if not more than that. You know what I'm saying? Just simple things. That's what I'm saying. They're not like famous or nothing. But anyway, saying all that to say this. These 2 people, right? I worked for both of them, right? And the fact of the matter is, like I said, the football player is obvious when he be gone. You know what I'm saying? For the football season and shit. But the other guy, he's got a regular job. Now, I didn't work for this guy for a couple years now. And this man has only been to this house, I could probably say, if you put it all together collectively, less than 1 month. I got another person I worked for. I didn't work for this lady for almost a year. I seen her at her house 1 time. She done came down here for a fucking air show. She into flying airplanes and shit like that. She came down to her air show, and, you know, some situation was going on at her house. I was like, hey, you gonna be at your house this weekend? Can you do this for me? She's like, oh, no, I'm not staying at my house. I'm just came down here like, what the fuck? How y'all got multiple houses? Now, we're not talking like no $60,000, $70,000 home. We talking like $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 homes over here we talking about. Now, they got multiple homes just sitting. See, America, going back to the streets paved with gold, and you go to these other countries, a lot of these people got like makeshift homes out of old recycled tin and shit like that, man. But then you got these Edomites that's living over here in Babylon the Great. They got multiple homes. Like, yo, I got a house on the golf course that I don't even go to no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit just be out there running. Like, I literally go to people's homes all damn day long, and it's just like, yo, nobody's ever been to this house in the last 2-3 years that I've been here. But the AC is steadily running. The water's steadily running. You know what I'm saying? The lights, you know, they have people to come by. They literally pay people to come by and just check on their house. This is a flex that you Americans have, man. So when you're talking about streets paved to gold, you know, they was obviously wrong about that part. But still, the ideology of these things, man. You got a fleet of cars. Some people have multiple cars, don't even drive them shits. Cars sitting in the driveway all goddamn day long. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know, the fuck you paying for 2 cars for? You don't even drive one. Or you got a car sitting in a damn garage that you ain't even been back to that house in a while. So you paying, you know, light bill, water bill, car insurance for these cars. I don't know if your car paid off or not, but if it's not paid off, it's probably paid off. But if it's not paid off, you're making a car payment. The house could maybe not paid off, but if not, you're making a payment on that as well too, man. All right, these are the people that live so carelessly, man. You got a lot of people that are living like, you go look at how they live in the what do they call the not the barrios. That's another term, barrios, but I forgot what they call it, like Colombia or Brazil. They got these other terms and stuff. But you see these places, they go down into these little, basically the hoods where Jake be living at, man. You be like, God damn, how many people living in this one little 3-bedroom house, man? You got like 12 people up in here, man. All right, but then you look at these Edomites out here, you got a 4 or 5 bedroom house with one person living in the house. Or nobody living in the house, man. So, hey, man, this is that city that dwell carelessly, man. All right, they living so deliciously out here, man. That golden city, man. All right, so when they talk about these things like, yo, hey, you got all-you-can-eat buffets, man. You can pay a certain amount of money, and you can eat till you literally pass out. Like, literally, bro, you can go in there and be like, bro, we're going to go eat some. We're not talking about all-you-can-eat McDonald's. No, we talking about, like, hey, you can go to an all-you-can-eat steakhouse, man. You can go get you all-you-can-eat. Now, we're not talking about, again, and you got your Golden Corrals and stuff like that, but they got high-end all-you-can-eat restaurants where you can go to, like, all-you-can-eat real steakhouses and stuff like that, man. All right, you got all these types of things where they can just sit here and comp all these, you know, you live like royalty out here if you want, man. But yet you think that with all these things that's going on here in Babylon the Great and all the people and all the riches of the world, think about that, man. Think about in the past how many people had multiple homes, man. You know, that's designed for a king to have multiple palaces and multiple places where they would go. I got like 6 palaces, 6, what they call castles or whatever like that, man. Hey, you Edomites here in America, you damn near got a couple different palaces, man. You got Jakes living in duplexes and shit, wishing they can get up out of their little apartment, Meanwhile, you got this big ass, you know what I'm saying, 4,000 square foot ass house on a lake, on a river or whatever. This is sitting empty. You know what I'm saying? That you might not ever go to that house, man. All right, like I said, the lady with the plane, they done built this house. She's never moved inside this house before. She came and visited a couple times, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, people have it like that, man. And we're not talking now. No. You got Jake that be doing shit like this, and they'll just get up a couple houses and they'll go on Airbnb them out. These fuckers don't Airbnb at all. It's not like that they looking for money. They're gonna rent out their house while they're not there. No, they just like, whatever. I'll pay for my lawn to get cut in 2 different places. I'll pay for my house to get cleaned in 2 different. Well, they ain't really cleaning the other house, but I'll pay for my house to get checked on. You know what I'm saying? In 2 different places. I ain't even using that house, man. All right, they got enough money to not only take care of one household, but multiple households, man. This is like, and you have more people that's living like they say, hey, the majority of the world is living off under X amount of dollars per day or per year, but yet you have these Babylonians living like so. You wouldn't think that with all this stuff that America's doing, that they would be written about or mentioned in the Bible, man. Of all the riches and the things in the kingdoms, like you read about in the Bible when they talk about the world dominating kingdoms, like, hey, you really go into it, you be like in awe. You like, damn, they had that like that. And then when you go into the non-canon history, like, you know, when you further do a deeper dive into all this here stuff, like for instance, they don't really go into all the detail of like not the original Babylon, like Babylon, you know, like with Nebuchadnezzar and them. In the scriptures, they don't really go into fine detail of like what the kingdom was like. But when you go and you do your external deep dive into that, man, they had the hanging gardens, they had all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, we simulate a lot of different things, man. Right here in America, yeah, a lot of things are simulated. Like you get into your nice fancy cars with the wood grain. A lot of that wood in that car is fucking plastic, man. You got to go get you a goddamn Rolls Royce or a Bentley to have real goddamn wood in your car nowadays. And even in them cars, they might not even have real wood in them anymore, man. All right. But what I'm saying is, you know, we have a plastic kingdom comparably to what they had back in them days, man. All right. You know, the hanging gardens and Babylon. All right. You know, hey, hell, even Egypt. All right. Egypt was a grand kingdom, man. All right. But then at the end, you know, they had these big ass monuments and everything else like that. But then when you really, like, we so used to it. But when you look at like Manhattan, all them goddamn skyscrapers. I remember driving into, I think it was driving into Jersey or something like that. Well, I was driving somewhere and I was looking across this bridge, and I could see Atlantic City off into the skyline and shit. Like, damn. It's like, you know, back in, it brought me back to the olden days, like you rolling up on a kingdom and things like that. But damn near every major city is like this, man. Not even every major city, minor cities and major cities. If you got a city like that has like every place has a city, but a sprawling city, more or less to say, with a real downtown area, they all full of skyscrapers, man. All right, where I'm at right now, this is not no super major city or nothing like that, but hey, you got skyscrapers all downtown, man. All right, but this is the luxury of these things, man. People can go live in a penthouse, live over the ocean views and everything. A lot of things that was designed for kings back in the olden days, like, bro, back in the old kingdoms, only a small, like 1% would ever see any of these things, man. Shit, you can go get you a penthouse in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And you be living like a king up there, man. Go get you a high-rise, you know, stay at one of these hotels on the beachfront in Florida, and you living like a king out here, man. Right? You go get on a cruise line or shit, man. Hey, it's like, shit, we selling the seas in luxury, man. Back in the olden days, you wasn't selling the seas in no goddamn luxury. If you had to go on a boat ride, a long boat ride, it was because they had to bring all their food with them, man. You know what I'm saying? They had to keep it sustainable a certain type of way, man. Man, you go get on a cruise ship nowadays, man, you just living it up and partying it the whole goddamn time, man. In this big-ass massive vessel, man. But this is all being brought up by this here, under this guise of this here kingdom at this here point in time that we're in nowadays, man. So, that you don't think that would be written about in the scripture? All the grand things that was done, all right? Shit, you had, so what's his name? Cyrus, Darius, Xerxes, right? All the shit that you seen Xerxes in 300, right? You seen the type of shit this nigga was rocking with, right? Heated floors, heated marble floors in palaces and shit like that, man. They had all these different things going on, but getting still, you know, they was written about. But then you have this new kingdom that's overshadowing all these kingdoms, man. All right, that's overshadowing all these kingdoms. Granted, like like what the scriptures speak about, you know, Babylon, the original Babylon, they was actually like, you could say the dopest kingdom. You know, they was the head of gold, right? Like I said, we got it kind of better than they got it, but, you know, again, to give you an example, you're riding around in your chariot, you got the wood grain in there, or gold in your car. It's not real gold, man. It's not real wood. Now, they do have cars with real gold in it, but I'm saying on the inside, the interior of your car, you can be riding around with gold rims. Them rims ain't real gold, man. Back in the olden days in Babylon, you riding around a chariot with gold rims. Them rims is actually gold, man. You know what I'm saying? That shit is actually it's like that out there, man. All right, but nevertheless, as far as the reach, and man, everybody in Babylon, the original Babylon back in them days, wasn't riding around clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Riding around in some nice chariots and things like that, man. Here in Babylon, hey, man, you know, or America, right? This Babylon, you got a lot more people that so-called enjoying just life, man. All right, living like somewhat of a king in this here place, man. All right, but nevertheless, you know, not going too far down that line, but just going as far as what the scriptures speak about that golden city season, man. All right, the cities with the streets paved with gold, man. All right, this is that golden city for real, where you get to literally people go and fuck off things like for real. Like you had one of these rappers that was saying, showing, I don't know, he was flexing on his homeboy or some shit like that about how he can go and throw $100,000 into the ocean, right? Just think about that. Back in the older days, $100,000 worth of golden shekels or silver shekels or gold coins or whatever. You just throwing them bad boys off into the ocean because you just balling like that, man. Man, you had to be a king like Solomon to do stuff like that back in the days. Nowadays, you have a thing called making it rain in a strip club. This is an American thing that we do. We go and throw money in a strip club. We drive Hellcats around and burn up all the goddamn gas in them motherfuckers. That shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go to Saudi Arabia, you think they be fucking off some money. I mean, they do fuck off money over there. I ain't gonna lie. They'll run out of gas in a supercar and leave that bitch on the side of the road. Americans ain't on that level yet. But the point I'm trying to make is, this is where everybody's trying to come to, man. This is that city that everybody upholds. Like, yo, that's where we at. You know, they say, you know, if you make it here in America, you make it everywhere else, right? But everywhere else, they could be the man wherever they at, but they ain't nobody until they make it in America. So, and to give you that in a perspective, like, yo, you could be over there in India, what they call, I think it's called Bollywood. You could be a Bollywood star over there, and don't nobody know you over there, man. But then you can come over to America, or you could be in America, never be over in India, right? And you could become an Indian star, right? Like an actor in America that's so-called Indian, right? In America, man, you known all over the whole earth, man. All right, so hey, there's a huge, you know, difference of being here in Babylon the Great, man. All right, this is that golden city, man. All right, and again, you know, throughout the whole scriptures, this is that place that was foreshadowing to, man. All right, let's get back to the Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14 and 4 says, "Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how has the oppressor ceased, and the golden city ceased?" Now, also think about that. You know, hey, you go back to Babel. I'm not sure about who they was actually warring with or anything else like that. But then you had Babylon, right? You know, they kind of had they had their subjections and things like that. But then, you know, they was pretty much taken over by the Medo-Persians, right? But then, and it wasn't really like real dominating, more or less to say like that. But America, what is America known for, man? And they say America's known for their guns and their bullets, or what do they say? I forgot how they said, butter and guns or some shit like that. But nevertheless, they known for their damn war, man. All right, hey, you hear about America? I say what? Y'all finna do what? Oh hell no, America finna come bring they gonna open up a can of democracy on your ass, man. All right, that's what America's known for, their military reach, man. All right, so hey, they come through and let's see, keep reading. It says the Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered. So, you know, you had other nations that went and did things diplomatically and things like that. But Esau, here with Babylon the Great, did it by way of what? Brute force of the sword, man. Going back to his blessing. All right, you know, we'll get that in Genesis 27. He was going to live by a sword. But by the force of the brute force of the sword, man. This is how Esau put everybody into subjection. Or let me rephrase that. This is how America put everybody into subjection, man. You know, Esau was already ruling and shit. But this is how America pretty much put everybody into subjection, man. By way of what? Yeah, you had World War II. All right, America came in there and cleaned up the mess. Like, at the end, the war was already damn near over when America walked into World War II. But they wound up dropping those nukes over there on Japan, man. All right, and that was a show of force that the world had never really seen being unleashed on mankind at that point in time, man. All right, and that's just only like 1/10 of the power that they have today with those not the same types of bombs, but with nuclear bombs as well. So you have to understand, hey, the world was quieted before Esau at that point in time, man. He beat the people into submission, man. Hey, look, this is what's going to happen to you if you get out of line. All right, now look at the subsequent nations that followed up after World War II that America went into, man. You know, you had Vietnam, you had, well, shit, we had a lot of different wars America was in, but putting these people into subjection and things like that, man. Middle East, all those things, man. All right, well, how do they put them into subjection? Beating them into, to submission, man. All right, they beat them to, you know, pretty much the capitulation, man. Hey, we all right. Look, bro, we can't keep continuing on with this because you just pounding us out here, man. We got to do something, man, before we lose everything, man. And then they wind up going to the negotiation table, and then they go and they negotiate with them. But instead of negotiating first, all right, America comes in with the bombs first. You know, we bomb first, ask questions later, or we bomb first, negotiate later, man. This is one of the things that America winds up doing, putting them into submission. So, out of the biggest bully on the earth, with the greatest sword on the earth, you don't think that these things would be written about in the scriptures, man? So when they're reading in Isaiah, all right, they talk about this here, he who beat the nations with a continual stroke, all right, and the oppressor has ceased. All right, when you read these scriptures in church, you got to ask yourself, man, all right, what time frame is this talking about? Is this talking about an old kingdom? All right, now which kingdom is it talking about if it's an old kingdom? Clearly, it tell you it's Babylon. So let's go back to Babylon. What do you really hear about Babylon, like wearing out the other nations by way of the sword, like beating their ass into submission to where it's like, look, ain't nobody coming up against us, man. If anything, the Medo-Persians, they had more of that smoke because they was just like, well, actually, you did have the Assyrians, you know, that was kind of like beforehand. That was like, you know what I'm saying? They was some vicious ass people like that, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, they wound up, getting taken down by the Medo-Persians, man. But see, Babylon the Great is going to be having to be taken down by who? The Lord. All right, it's going to take all these nations. We're really just going to take the Lord, but the way the Lord's going to do it is by way of what? All these nations shooting arrows on her, and then he's going to clean up the mess with the chariots, man. All right, but nevertheless, this is that golden city, man, that's beating all the people into submission by way of the sword, by way of their military, man. You see how they're going over there and imposing their will on these other nations when it comes time to, what's going on in Ukraine right now, man. All right, you got them over there talking about the situations going on, and now America bad-mouthing other nations that don't want to aid in them. All right, I was reading some articles this morning about how Zelensky was talking over there to the Arab leaders at the Arab leagues and everything else like that, and how they still trying to play neutral in this scenario. And I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute. Out of all the other nations on the earth, as far as the biblical nations on the earth, right? When you think about it, the Moabites, they neutral in this. They like, look, we not even in this conflict. We backing up off this conflict. The Moabites backed up out of the conflict. The Ishmaelites, they backed up out the conflict. They ain't involved in the conflict. The Hamites really ain't even in. They not trying to fuck with none of them. All right, or if anything, they on the Russian side, but they not in the conflict as well either, man. All right, now the Ammonites, they would be on the American side, and they doing some different posturing right now when dealing with Taiwan. But nevertheless, all these other nations, all the other how do I put this? Higher class, like not to say higher class, but all these other nations on the Moabites, the Hamites, the Ishmaelites, all these other nations like that. None of them is involved in this here scenario, man. It's just basically Edomites that's involved in this, man. All right, you got these Americans versus the Russians over there, man. Or how the scriptures say, the whore and the whore that rideth upon the beast. The whore has led the beast, which is NATO and the EU, out to go fight against them, man. And now, really, you got Turkey that's like, really, we've been saying this over the last couple years that Turkey has been, changing that tune. But that's all been prophesied as well, too. All right, but nevertheless, going into this here great golden city, all right, that all the nations are flowing to, looking up to, and everything else like that. What nation would that be on the face of the earth today, man? What nation does America go to ask for permission to do anything, man? What nation does America go to bow down before? Now, you do have certain circumstances, like i.e. China, that America bow down to for their cheap labor, but it's a mutual understanding, right? It's not like, oh, well, it's just like, give it to you in Jake's terms, you know what I'm saying? You might not like your boss, right? But your boss is paying you good money, so you just like, all right, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I gotta go deal with this nigga real quick. Gotta, because I'm getting my ends. But I don't really like the nigga, but he is making sure I eat right now. So without me, he don't like me either. But he know I'm the best person for the job. I'm making the company money. I'm the top salesman for the business. He don't like me, but hey, I'm making a lot of money for him. So he's like, the dude that I do like, he costing me money, so I had to let him go. But the dude I don't like making me money, so I guess I'll stick it out with him. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm making all my bills working for this nigga, and the guy that I did like working for, this nigga went out of business, or he fired me over some fuck shit. So I got to deal with this guy that I don't like. So that's America and China's relationship. They need one another, all right? So it's not like, because, America buy up all their trade, and America get all instead of, they're a consumer nation. So they get all their so-called food or nourishment from China. Not literal food, but, you know what I'm saying, their substance, all right? But in reality, hey, man, there ain't no nations that's really telling America what to do. telling America to. Now we in the latter days where these nations are starting to buck up against America or stand up against them and call them out. But in reality, you didn't never had any of these things go on beforehand, man. There's no nation that's like, look, we're gonna change how we sell our oil into this and that. You ain't never had no other nations like Sweden or nothing like that. Hold up, America. If y'all do that, we're gonna invade y'all ass, man. All right, we're gonna start doing this and that with trade and everything. If y'all do that, this is what's gonna happen, man. There's no nation that's ever said that to America, man. All right, so hey, this is that top dog golden city that's on the face of the earth. All right, let's go to. I could have kept reading this because that goes into like the decay of America as well too. But I want to grab. All right, one more page. Might have to read this whole chapter. We might have to come back to this and read this whole chapter. Yeah, we'll come back to this. Matter of fact, we're gonna just run all this here together real quick. But let me go back to this point that I was trying to make here. And where's that other one I want to hold? Is that Nahum? And then I want to hold. All right, and then Revelation. All right. Matter of fact, let me start over here in Job, or let me start in Genesis, then go to Job, then we'll go over there. Hopefully, we'll remember all these precepts. Lord's will, we'll get to them all. So this is Genesis 27. Genesis 27. This is going into Esau's blessing. All right, we got to figure out how we got here first, right? Because again, prophecy is the most important thing of, how do I say, calibrating your compass. You can't, you need to be guided in a certain way, but hey, if your calibration is off, hey, you go into trying to find your stuff, you got to make sure your calibration is right, man. Nowadays, it's going to give you the old way they used to do it, the compass, but nowadays you got your damn phone, right? In order for you to get directions and going anywhere, like if you ever go buy you a brand new phone, like an iPhone or some shit like that, man, all right, and the first time you go to use your maps and everything else like that, they tell you what, calibrate your phone, or if your shit get off, they say calibrate your phone, man. Or like you open up certain apps for the first time, like the little stargazing when we look at the stars and stuff. They tell you, hey, calibrate your phone, make sure your compass is right, because they don't want you to be like, look, all right, so from where you went, you need to go to the beach. Let's say, for instance, for us to go to the beach, I couldn't even tell you which direction it is. That's what. North is going that way. I think south is going that way. Anyway, you go south that way for a couple blocks, you're going to run into the water, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's more than probably like 10 blocks. Maybe 10, 20 blocks down that way, you're going to just run into the damn ocean, right? Now, let's just say hypothetically that was north, which is not north. It's probably like to the east or the west. Let's just say hypothetically you need to go north, right? But then go north 10 blocks, right? But your compass is wrong, and you actually going south, right? When you go 10 blocks that way, you don't see no water. You go another 10 blocks, you don't see no water. You keep going, now you're going more and more inland. Now you're starting to see trees and cow pastures and everything else like that. Like, man, we should have surely been to the water by now. All right, but yet you want to make sure that your calibration is correct, man. So going into this here understanding of who is who and where is where, all right, you have to understand what? The prophecies, man, of what they would be doing, all right? Like I said, giving you directions to the beach. Hey, keep going that way, and you're going to see less trees, and you're going to see, like, literally, you go down on the road, you just look down that way, you'll see the water, man, all right? But then you go that way, you start seeing more and more trees, buildings, and land, and then you start seeing pastures and shit like that. You're like, ain't no water this way. The water is that way, right? You looking at these different signs, so you know that, hey, the process ain't lining up, man. I'm driving this way for about 20 minutes. You said 10 blocks, 20 blocks. We riding 20 minutes that way, and now we seeing cow pastures. I don't think there's no water that way, man. We should have seen the beach going 5 minutes down that way. But yet and still, hey, you don't know because your compass hadn't been calibrated, man. All right, and our calibration is like the scripture say, measure the time diligently in itself, and when I shall see part of the signs pass, which I told you before, that's going into what the visions, man. This is your calibration. This is your measuring stick, man. All right. Going into that in Genesis 27. Let me just get to the point of the blessings, right? We can't start there, but let me just we'll just get straight into the blessing. We'll start at 38 then. All right, Genesis 27:38. And Esau said to his father, "Hast thou but one blessed my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above." All right, hey, and going into that, matter of fact, I probably should let me grab this in the blue letter real quick. I don't want to drop my precepts I got, but we'll come back to them. I'm gonna grab this in the blue letter real quick. This was something that I came across not too long ago. All right, Genesis 27:39. So the NLT is not really worded correctly, but I guess let's just go into these words though. Let's talk about the fatness of the earth, right? We went into this a couple weeks ago, but the fertile places, the highly prepared food, fatness, fat piece, the oil, all right. So hey, they was gonna have the fertile spots, the choice places of the earth, but then also the choice resources of the earth, all right. Who's in control of the choice now? Even though they don't necessarily have, or they do have it in their possession, but even though they don't really have it in their possession, they still in control of it all, man. This is what you have to understand about OPEC. This is what you have to understand about like Saudi Arabia, right? Even though they're, I think, so you got different terminologies that people would, they hear these things, it just breezes over. So like Venezuela, I believe, has the largest reserves of natural gas, or not natural gas, of oil. Saudi Arabia exports the most oil, right? And I believe they export the most oil. And then you have like America is, America's another one of these other titles as well too. It's not the same exact thing. You was like, well, I thought Venezuela has the most oil. Well, they do, but they ain't the ones exporting the most oil. Saudi Arabia is exporting the most oil, more or less to say. And then I think America is like they got something else. They like the top dog of any of these things. But anyway, put it this way: America's not really. They sell their oil. Don't get it twisted. America does sell their oil instead of really using their oil. America buys oil, sell their oil, whatever. But nevertheless, America's in control of all these different things, man. Have the control over the resources of the earth, man, and all the different trade, man. You have different nations that, if you know about the petrodollar, man, I was going to, not just speaking about oil or just the petrodollar, but even other commodities and goods as well, too, man. All right, but just as an example, if you understand the petrodollar, this is how everything else flows as well, too, man. You want to buy and sell and trade into these different things, man. You need to conduct these transactions in American dollars, man, so that we can have a control of a piece of all these things, man. Look at what Esau is trying to do right now with the MOTB system, man. You see with this new FedNow system that they coming up with, and the CBDCs and all these things, and tracking all your transactions, man. See, if he's able to track all your transactions, guess what they can also do on there? Put a service fee on it, man. All right, now I know as far as dealing in business and dealing with receiving money from people, when people try to pay me with their money and shit like that, I'd be looking at my account, I'm like, all right, so these people are depositing money in my account, but through the portal that it has to go through, these motherfuckers is taxing. Like, how come if I'm just doing hand to hand, right? If people just paying me hand to hand, here go $100, I go home with $100. But then if I go through these here portals, all right, they're gonna go, all right, it's $100 that they owe me, but I only get to receive, let's say, $95. Well, where the other $5 go? How come, what the fuck is going on with this? How do y'all keep making money off of this? And now you just multiply that out 10 times, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, wait a minute. Y'all taking up all this here money up out of my pocket from doing what? Oh, because it's a service fee, a transaction fee. Because you have to use their so-called method of transferring the funds, man. All right? And this is the system that Esau's getting us built on. Not getting too far into MOTB. But this is the system that they have things going on, man. All right? Like I said, this is having control of all the resources, man. All the trade. Like I said, with the petrodollar, man. They can control all the oil, man. Look at what they're doing now with all these digital transfer of digital, digital transactions, cash apps and everything else like that, man. They tell you, hey, you got to pay taxes on all this stuff, man. So when you was over there buying weed from the nigga down the block and you was cash apping them some money, or getting your hair cut on the porch and you was cash apping the nigga some money, or you was paying the cleaning lady, you was cash apping her some money, you know what I'm saying? Hey, now we can control all this here stuff, man. Oh, you can't send this amount of money, you can't send that amount of money. And I'm pretty sure that they have limits on those things too, like even with your bank account, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You go do some crazy shit now, it's supposed to so-called protect you, but you know what I'm saying? They even have limits on your bank account, man. Now, granted, again, I can understand why they would have you don't normally take $2,500 out your bank account, $5,000 out your bank account at a certain point in time. At one point in time, like as a withdrawal, you don't normally do that. So what the hell going on over here? Well, what does it really even matter? I'm deciding I'm about to go put a down payment on the car. I need the $5,000 out of my bank account. Whoa, wait a minute. See, this is how they have this control over you, man. All right, this is what Esau would have, control over all the resources of the earth, man. All right, he controls the news, the media, how things is going out as far as the propaganda. And they got this stuff going on nowadays where even with the big tech companies, I did a video on this not too long ago about these big tech companies of how they're controlling the narratives of the things that's going out, man. But who's in control of all these things? It's Esau, man. And he has layers and layers and layers and layers of this here stuff. So they would say, hey, no, you got the freedom of speech. The government allows you to have freedom of speech. But then they use these corporations to actually impose the laws that they want. Or they'll say rules and guidelines, right? These are the guidelines. Like, you got freedom of speech here in America, but look, that's like, look, you can do whatever you want to go do in that little back alley over there. Nobody gonna be able to see you doing it. You can have free speech in your own household. But you get on our platforms and you try to spew this on into the airwaves to everybody else, you can't do that no more. See, beforehand, you can go out on the street and you can just be yelling out whatever you, like how we out here now. You can be just yelling out whatever you want to whoever, right? Whoever's walking by, they hear your message and everything. But now that you want to use the platform like YouTube, now we can regulate those things. And guess who owns and runs all these things, man? Who's got these people in control, man? So Homeboy does have the fatness of the earth, man. He has all the resources, man. All these big tech companies and everything else like that, they all stem from out of America, man. You only have one big tech company that you know of that doesn't stem from America that you Americans be using like that. And that would be, what that shit called? TikTok, right? But all the other big apps and everything that you use, it's all from here in America, man. Google, YouTube, all right, Facebook. All these things is all over here, man. And they're all Amazon and all these different things. They're all, how do I say, have hooks and ties into how, not resources, how, well, you can't say how resources move on the earth, but how just things is moving upon the earth, man. News, media, Twitter, Instagram, all these things are all American companies, all right, or owned by Americans and things like that, but they're all here to, how do I say, regulate certain things, man, and how you do things, man, have control over you, man. So, hey, if you have control over the medium of the resources, how information is getting put out, hey, you control every damn thing, man. Esau's in control of all this here stuff, man. All right, but this was his blessing, man. All right. Oh, wait, we were reading that. We can go back to this now in the regular Bible. So, Genesis 27. Genesis 27:39, it says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of the heaven above. All right, hey, he's got the green light to make things go and grow. It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother when thou hast the dominion. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and when it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck. So, hey, scripture say he was going to live by a sword. All right, and again, what nation do you know has dominated the face of the earth and put people in subjection and has gotten up on top by way of what? Their military, man. All right, now, if this wasn't the one that was, now, granted, they all Edomites at the end of the day, but let's talk about here Babylon the Great in America, right? You had another nation that had two other nations that did this, but neither one of them is somewhat still there. But the remnant of that nation. Give me 1 second. So you had two different nations, right? One, we'll get to the second one. Russia, right? Russia, at a certain point in time, they was a big dominating force, or the USSR at that point in time, right? They was a great dominating force, right? But then, you know, that pretty much collapsed in the 90s, the early 90s and everything else like that. And you've seen it starting to grow back to its form today, right? But the only other nation that was like that would have been Germany, right? Under, well, I'm not going to say the nigga name, but you know, in World War II, the nigga who led them into World War II. That was like the most advanced military that they had with technology, even really up into the same time, because all the shit that America and Russia got now came from where? Germany in World War II. But anyway, going to that point, what nations have you seen on earth in modern day times put everybody in subjection by way of their military and their sword? Like I said, you had Germany, even though when you really go into it, all right, in World War I and World War II, Germany had been antagonized and they were squeezed from the outside forces, which caused them to react to start waging war on both sides, right? Same thing that's going on with Russia today. Russia didn't just aggressively just attack Ukraine like that. They was being pressured by the shit that was going on around them, and they reacted to these things. So, but you don't see, what other nations do you know that go around and be putting people in subjection by way of the sword? Now, think about after 9/11. The whole Middle East was quieted and put into subjection by way of what? The American military, man. They went over there and put all those people into subjection by way of what? Their bombs, their missile strikes, all right, you know, just infantry on the ground, depleted uranium and things like that, man. All right, put these people in a silence, man. Same in those Asian countries, man. Hell, you look at we mentioned this earlier about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Man, think about how devastating that was. You nuke a nigga, right? And then you make this nigga capitulate to the point to where he like, all right, I'm gonna give up. Now I'm gonna be on your side. The people who fucked us over, I'm gonna be on your side now. And then we gonna sign something saying that we not gonna ever have an offensive military ever again. Meaning we not gonna ever wage war on nobody else ever again. But what we can have is a defensive force to defend ourselves. Well, now recently they got a defensive force now, right? And now they talking about getting an offensive force. But Japan ain't had no military, man. Because by way of what? America putting them into subjection, man. I'm gonna show this nigga how to do this, and you ain't gonna never want to do this again. You ain't gonna never want to rebel again. And Japan been like that ever since World War II. All right, so that's a great prime example of, oh man, America don't be just bullying folks. All right, bruh, trust me, man. You know, this is like the dude that come up in the prison, first day in the prison, he just knock a nigga out, knock out one of the CEOs, man. Just boom, just because. Wish a motherfucker would try me in here. They setting the bar up real high. He came in and knocked the CEO out. What you think he finna do to one of us? You see what I'm saying? That's how these nations feel about America, man. By way of what? That sword, man, that military, man. It's not diplomatic. They didn't go around being peaceful. Granted, they did do that, you know, being diplomatic with these people and talking to them, but that's by way of lies, like the scriptures say, let me just get it. Hey, the wind blew the page right there to it. This is, I was in the right chapter. Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon have been a golden cup. Now, going back to that golden cup, that golden city. Babylon, all right, just think about it. Now we're going into how America is Babylon the Great, and the two is intertwined with each other. When you're reading about these here places, man, you got to think about it. What nation are they speaking about? Now, sometimes they also speak about a nation under a different name. Like, and what was that, Revelation 11 in like verse 10 or something like that? Let me see. Give you an example. Revelation 11 and 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the great city. There it is again, the golden city, the great city. All right, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually, all right, or how they would say, oh, metaphorically, all right, or it's coming in the same spirit, more or less to say. And they just like the same. It's like me saying, hey man, you know, they say this to little boys sometimes. Boy, you acting mannish out here. Now you coming in the spirit of a man, or metaphorically you acting like a man, and you ain't nothing but a little boy, right? Or a little boy acting like a little girl, or you acting girlish, I'm not saying he's actually a girl. You acting like a girl, right? So this here a place which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, right? You know, sometimes in the scriptures is worded like that. Now, nowhere in the Bible you're gonna find America. Now you'll find bitter, which that's what goes into the word America. All right, goes into bitterness and things like that. But as far as the word itself, America written out, you're not gonna find that. But they give you all the descriptions and of what America would be doing, all right, and how America would be structured and things like that, man. All right. So it says, going back to this, just as an example, Revelation 11:8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified." And you just giving that as an example, like Sodom and Egypt, is giving you the characteristics of it. And this is that place. It's describing that same place. So you should be asking yourself, what place today is like Sodom and Egypt, right? Well, what is meant by being like a place like Sodom and Egypt? Well, let's break those two down. What was Sodom known for? In fact, here in America, right, they had a law, all right, in America, which like you could break the, I don't know how to word it, but you know, you could be charged with sodomizing somebody, right? What does sodomizing somebody mean? Which the video might get fucking taken down by just saying that. But anyway, if you was to sodomize somebody, you know, which the community is pushing for heavily nowadays, this is fucking crazy. You know, this is what they out here doing nowadays, man. All right, but nevertheless, that's the characteristics of this here place, man. All right, it's sodomy, man. This is what the main thing that they push. And you got that nigga, his name Sam Brinton or some shit. He used to work in the White House. The bald head dude who wear the lipstick and the dresses and shit like that. They push and promote. And the nigga that be stealing all the luggage, he just got arrested again for stealing luggage again. Like, this nigga is a habitual luggage stealer. Like, we need to get a GoFundMe for this nigga to go buy this nigga some clothes, because he keeps stealing everybody else's luggage. And what the fuck is wrong with this nigga, man? This is a sheer reprobate. And then people had a nerve to say, what do you mean by calling these things degenerate and these folks? Like, who does shit like this, man? This is some real Tyrone type of shit, man. It's like your crackhead uncle doing some stupid shit like this, man. Like, for real, man. This guy worked in the White House. Like you don't think that you got a good job if you working for the White House and shit like that? You got benefits and shit. All the shit Jake over here complaining about that he working as a janitor for. Now he could have the same damn job in the White House and be way better off. This nigga working at the White House, and then look at the type of shit you do. What you get fired for? You got caught stealing luggage and suitcases twice at the airport, bruh. We can't have you doing this shit. It's not because you be cross-dressing. It's because you be stealing luggages and shit. Some real crackhead type of shit, man. Like, bruh, how you get caught stealing boxes on your day off type of shit, man? But we call these people reprobate and degenerates. But what do you mean by reprobates and degenerates? And who says this and that's your modern way of thinking? Like, all right, well, you don't think that the Americans have been deteriorating since you've been letting these fucking heathen walk around and everything else like that, man? The spirit of sodomy is on these people, man. And there's a decay or degeneracy that follows with it, man. All right, now let's go into Egypt. What was Egypt known for, man? That hard bondage that the Israelites was made to serve, man. All right, now granted, Brazil took in more slaves than America did, or the United States did, right? But United States is, how do I say? More people know about the slavery in the United States than they do about in Brazil and these other places where Jake was scattered into, right? So this is the place which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. It has those characteristics, all right? So again, you should be asking yourself, what nation on the face of the earth is pushing and promoting over the other nations, all right, the spirit of sodomy, all right? Which nation on the face of the earth had, you know, comes in the guise of hardcore slavery and bondage, man? Even unto the same day, they got the nerve to be talking about human rights, but then you got your little slave guards killing off all the goddamn slaves for no apparent reason, just because you mad. You see what I'm saying? So when you go into these things, they give you these descriptions of this here, of this certain place. You have to ask yourself around what places like this. Now you have to have the eyesight to see this. The scripture say, "Blessed are your eyes to see the things that you see and hear the things that you hear." For many prophets and kings have desired to see the things that you see and have not seen them. All right, roughly paraphrasing. And also that, there's something that's going to be blinded. There's a veil over some of these people's eyes, man. That'll never just ask none of these simple questions. Like, it's a simple question, man. America has such a impressive mark on the earth in the way how things are going in history. Such a thing that changed the whole world, man. Dropping nukes on people, man. All right, you know what I'm saying? Creating the MOTB, the internet, and all the shit that they got now. This massive surveillance that the kings of old wish they had this type of, they had spies in there spying on what you were saying and this and that, the distance. Nowadays, they got cameras. They got more cameras damn near than people just about nowadays, man. Got a camera in your car, camera in your house, a camera that's always on you with your cell phone. All these, they watching and spying on you now. All the old tyrants of old times wish that they had the power and the technology that they have today. All right, and now they got AI to do the job for them, man. Servants that's not gonna go off because they programmed them to be perfect, just like the Lord has the angels. They programmed, the Lord got his AI too. This is the angels. The angels don't go off. Now Esau's trying to recreate that. Like, no, well, we're gonna give you certain parameters, right? If I created this AI robot, I was watching a commercial on my way out here today. They got this little robot. They got this Jake on the farm walking with this little, basically it's a little, like a little wagon that follows behind him. It's like a little cooler box that just follows him, and you can open it up and store the shit that's inside of there, right? Now, they got their little, AI and their little technology and shit like that. But in reality, man, this is like them trying to have angels, man, programming it to not go off. Hey, look, I'm programming this little cooler with wheels, we'll call it, to just follow after me. Well, let's not say cooler with wheels, but it looked like a cooler with wheels, right? Because I was going to use the example, but its only job, it was programmed to follow behind where it's going, the person that it's trained to do, right? It's not built in its program to perform open heart surgery, put it that way. That's not in its limitation. So it's only programmed to do certain things. So therefore, if you could program it to do only certain things, you could program it to never go off into the bounds that you have it to not to go off with, right? So nevertheless, this is what Esau is doing with his new kingdom. So you don't, this impressive mark that it's leaving on the earth with all this stuff that they got going on, you don't think it would be written about in the Bible, man? You don't think it would be mentioned about from the prophets before? You think the prophets wouldn't have seen this here vision of this here wicked ass place, man? They seen all the other places that come beneath this place, but they wouldn't have seen this place, man. The place where not another nation would take them down, but the Lord himself would have to come and take them down for it, man. All right, so hey, you don't think that this place would have to be written about, man? All right. Let's find where we were at. Oh, we didn't finish this. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse to the point 7. Jeremiah 51 and 7, it says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her for a wine, therefore the nations are mad. And I believe I was bringing this here back out, or bringing this out earlier because of the fact of saying, like, hey, where's all this here stuff streaming from? It's all being streamed from America as far as the ideologies on the earth, man. Like, we have trends here in America. Like, let's say, for instance, twerking is a trend here in America that was pretty much started here in America the way that they have it here in America, right? Rapping and everything else is like a trend that we have here in America, and the things that go along with rapping, the gold teeth, the cornrows, big rims and shit like that, man. That shit, smoking weed and drinking lean and shit, that's an American thing, right? But why is it that you see these same things going on in Africa, different countries in Africa, in China, Russia? You got Russian rappers, Chinese twerkers, Indian twerkers, Russian twerkers. You know what I'm saying? What you call them? Iranian twerkers. You got the Iranian Kim Kardashian that got kicked up out their country. So it's not the Iranians that's pushing their ideologies on the world. You don't see women walking around in hijabs because Iran is pushing this on the whole goddamn globe. No, man. You see women walking around with their booty cheeks hanging out because that's an American thing. You know what I'm saying? They got the goddamn veil on with their booty cheeks. It's all I guarantee you right the fuck now, in one of them Arab countries, they got these women over there trying to pull their little outfits together a little tighter to show their little figure and shit up under their little garments. Show them little booty cheeks clapping and everything else like that. And it's going to get to a point to where they're going to probably be having some little outfits where they, you know what I'm saying, shaking that ass in them little garments, man. But where does that come from? It don't come from over there. It come from over here. So again, you got to ask yourself, America has such an impressive mark on these other nations and these other people. Why wouldn't they be written about in the scriptures, man? Why wouldn't the Lord talk about them in the scriptures? Or who would they be in the scriptures that would be talked about, man? All right, what kind of pull or play would they have on the world, man? All right, somebody smoking cigarettes over this bitch. But anyway, getting back to the scriptures, we didn't even finish that Genesis. Let me just run through this Genesis real quick. Then we get to that. Genesis 27 and 39. We did finish this Genesis. So now let's go back. Well, let me just read this real quick. Genesis 27 and 39 and 40. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven of above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother. And when it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break the yoke off of his neck. Salaki, give me 1 second. I need to grab a drink real quick. All right. So the scriptures speak about, they would you know, basically live by this here sword, right? By way of brute force and domination, military might. And you can go back to even the Brits did the same thing too, right before that. But like the scriptures speak about, America would come from up out of them, man. All right, this is like we will read it in Lord's will. We'll get there, Isaiah 47. That mother that that you come from out of, you know what I'm saying? It's talking about Britain, right? Let's get back to this. I'm gonna get to this in Job real quick. All right, this is Job. This is one we always read all the time. Job 9:24 says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? So now we know that the earth, the whole earth, all right? Let me see if we can go a little further into this. I've never looked this up, but let's see what's going on into it. It's Job 9. In the KJV, it says, the whole earth is in the hand of the wicked, and God blinds the eyes of the judges. If he's not the one who does it, who is? All right. The point I want to grab is the top part. The whole earth is in the hand of the wicked. I want to see if they further define, but it says it right there, clear as day. The whole earth, right? All right. So, well, they kind of break it down a little bit. Actually, this word has a lot of different meanings, but yeah, it can be used for all of these things. But ultimately, it's going into the whole earth, man. The possession of the whole earth is in the hand of what? The Edomites. All right. Again, you go into certain things. You want to fly a plane in the globe, you got to learn how to speak English, right? You go to these World Summit meetings. Guess whose traditional garments those people are out there wearing, man? You see them all in suits and ties, man. That's the American Edomites garments, man. All right, you don't see these so-called Chinese people wearing their Chinese garb. Sometimes you do, because you used to have that. Which boy name was Muammar Gaddafi? Homeboy used to walk up into the meetings in his African garments and everything else like that, man. His little, what they call a little kufi on top, and his little sunshades and everything else like that, man. He pull up. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I ain't changing my outfit. I ain't changing my ways for y'all. This is how I dress. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, hey, you have everybody that's on these American standards, man. All right, it's not that over there in China, India, all these places, man, they all learn English. We're not forced to learn their languages and shit like that, man. We ain't even forced to even learn and understand English properly, man. You got Jake that be learning and understanding slang, that don't know proper English. You got Americans that be using English, be using it all wrong. They're like, that's not what that word means, but y'all gonna use it anyway. But then you have these foreigners that they speak their secondary language better than their primary language wherever they are. And their secondary language would be what? English, right? I was watching some of these YouTube shorts. They was talking about, I forgot where it was in China, somewhere in China. They were saying, certain things about certain stuff. Like, oh, well, if you American or you from these Western, this is one of these Chinese folks. If you American or you from these Western countries and you go over here, you would fit in perfect over here. If anything, if you speak Chinese, or not Chinese, whatever language they speak, whether it's Cantonese or Mandarin or whatever, they say if you speak that language over there, you're more than likely for people not to understand you. But English, they're going to understand you over there. There ain't no place here in America like that. Now, you go to little Chinatowns and stuff like that, but as an actual city, right? There ain't no place here in America where you're going to find that they speak a different language more than they speak your own language. Now, even granted, here in Florida, we have a huge population of Hispanics and things like that, man. Even as far as down, like Miami and stuff like that. But still, English is the primary language out there, man. All right, so, hey, the whole world is modeling themselves after who? All right, after what nation? And who's in control of that nation, man? All right, you have to ask yourself, man, hey, look, we've been here for so long. It's like you related, your mother or your father is a big-ass celebrity or something like that, man. Your mama, your pops is like Jay-Z and Beyonce or some shit like that. And you was a little kid and you always on stage with them. To them, that's just mom and dad. You know, like not passing the fuck out over, oh my God, it's Beyonce and Jay. No, everybody else is, but you looking at them, this is my relative. This is how we look at America, man. Like I said, when you look at these other countries and you really look at America from their eyes, you see like, damn, I didn't even really think it was like that, man. You know what I'm saying? For Jake to be riding around these Hellcats, burning up $1,000 tires and running through gas like that, some nations they be like, bro, hold up, you filled up your car with $100 worth of gas and went and blew that, but we don't even live off $100 a month out here, bro. How the hell? But so, hey, this is the so-called top nation, that golden city that's on the earth, man. All right, but then also the one that would get into that position by way of what? The force of the sword, man. Taking peace from the earth, man. We just read how the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Now, if I said that the earth was given into the hands of these bodybuilders, nah, fuck that. If I said that the earth was given into the hand of some vegans, right? What do you think the diet would be of the earth? Would you think it would be a carnivore diet, or you think it would be a vegan diet? See, well, let's go ahead and grab that scripture as well, too. It's 10. It was 10. I'm in the wrong chapter, the wrong book. That's why. Yeah, let's go back. This is 10 and 1. Sirach 10 and 1, it says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of the prudent man is well ordered. So again, I say, if you have a vegan, if the earth was given into the hand of the vegans, we would have a vegan diet on the earth, right? So if the earth was given in the hand of the wicked, what do you think we're going to have? What type of rulership you think we're going to have on the earth? A righteous rulership or a wicked rulership, man? Now, some people say, oh, this is not subjective to what's right and wrong. There's no moral right and wrong. We're just living. So there's no such thing as really right and wrong and good and bad. It's just however you take it. But when you really look at everything, like, is it good that all the trees are dying? You know what I'm saying? Is there a definite, is that good or is that a definite bad? If you're in your house and your house is burning down, is that a definite good or a definite bad? Or is there a gray area? It's like, well, this is how you take it. No, motherfucker. There's a definite good and a definite bad. When we see the decay of society and everything start going downhill, all right, this is because of why? Who do you think you have in control of everything, man? Who do you think is guiding and pushing the people in the direction that they're going in, man? Which direction do you think that these people are going in? You think they're going into a righteous direction or a wicked direction? All right, these people are going into the way of wickedness as we speak. You how they say, you sliding down a slippery slope at an extraordinary speed, man. You're going downhill real fast, man. All right, but this is all way of what? And it's also going across the whole globe, man. So you think, for you older folks, maybe my age or a little bit older, you see how social media and TikTok is destroying the fuck out of people, man. I seen somebody the other day say that I'm a recovering TikTok addict, and I was like, I wonder if they saying that as a so-called joke, like some new shit that they say nowadays, or if they actually serious about that, man. I've talked to people who actually use those things and everything else like that, and I hear some of the stuff they talk about, and they're like, man, some of them be realizing that they get sucked into that. Like, look, the world ain't really like that, right? This is just some bullshit on TikTok, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, this type of stuff is going, even though that's a Chinese thing, but you have these trends and things like that that's going around the whole earth, right? And what do you think it's really doing to these people, man? Do you think people are better or worse off now that they have TikTok, now that they have social media, now they have the latest TikTok challenge? You had all these kids dying off these TikTok challenges, putting Robitussin and chicken and Robitussin together, you know what I'm saying? Sticking forks in the plugs in the wall, crate challenges, cinnamon challenges. What about let's just do a challenge to get right challenge? You know what I'm saying? Let's start eating healthy type challenge. Let's start serving the Lord challenge. Let's start being kind to our neighbor challenge, which is our people. Not just everybody, but our own people type of challenge, man. Let's do good for ourselves challenge, man. You don't have these things. You have the knockout challenge. Let's go fuck our people over type of challenge, man. Let's go and go do some bullshit type of challenge. Let's go hurt ourselves. Let's go flirt with death type of things, man. So you see, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. The earth is now under a wicked vibration. And where's all this stuff coming from, man? Again, what nation, what country on the earth, what type of people are pushing this here ideology? What type of people is telling you this is all right? Going back to that Sam Britton dude, what type of people got a nigga with a beard like mine, bald head, nigga wearing lipstick, a dress and high heels, will have that nigga in their rulership cabinet, man? You see what I'm saying? Like, What are they really pushing out? What kind of imagery are they pushing out, man? And they got this nigga on TV. And the whole reason they got the nigga on TV is because he looked like that, man. To push that ideology, oh, I seen this like that in the White House. Like how all Jake be saying, oh, it was good that we had a so-called black president because now Jake got something they can look up to and see and strive for. But now you got this thing, and well, he was in office. You know what I'm saying? It's what people gonna look up to him as well too, man. All right, but nevertheless, all this is coming from, you know, being pushed out from Esau here in Babylon the Great, man. All right, destroying the earth, man, destroying the minds of the people, man. So the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. He's not ruling it in righteousness. The scriptures speak about, you know, as the king or so is his people. You know, a wise judge would instruct his people. Well, how would you instruct them in righteousness or in wickedness? Would you tell them to do righteous things? Are you telling the children? Are you telling the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, hey, y'all the children of Israel, y'all gotta stop eating that pork, stop eating that shrimp. Y'all gotta observe the Sabbaths. Y'all gotta go over here. You know, you gotta do all these things, man. No, they're not telling you that. They're telling you, look, man, don't eat swan. They're not telling you that. They say, look, we're gonna put bacon on everything. We got the Baconzilla, bacon wrapped bacon out here in this bitch, man. We got bacon rolled and bacon out here, man. And it's fried in some bacon grease, man. So what's up with it, man? So which path are we actually taking out here? When you peel back the layers and you look at these things, is this really a righteous place? Are they really pushing out righteousness on the earth, man? All right, let's go into that real quick. Nahum chapter 3. Nahum 3 and 4. All right. I don't know if I want to read this now or come back. We'll read this and we'll go to Revelation. All right, not Revelation. Nahum chapter 3 verse 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull this up in the NLT. Boom. All right, that's in the NLT. It says, Nahum 3 and 4, it says, all this because Nineveh, the beautiful and faithless city. And if this is not, first of all, the beautiful city, right? The golden city. Now, granted, America does have a lot of nice things out here, man, right? But I mean, now we're going into the decay of a lot of things and things is falling apart. But nevertheless, hey, America is a so-called beautiful city, man. America is like the only place on the earth where you have all the different terrains of earth and all the different climates of earth within its borders. So you have like the rolling prairies, you have the deserts, you have the coastal cities, all right, you have the mountainous range, all right, you have the forests, mountains, you have all the different geographic terrains on earth here in the United States of America. You also have all the different weathers, you know, different weather that you would have, whether it be, you know, some places have 4 seasons, man. In Florida, we don't have 4 seasons, but some places you have 4 seasons where you have like snow and shit like that, man. All right, but yet and still, it says all this because Nineveh, the beautiful and faithless city, right? Think about that, the faithless city. You talk about having faith here in America, man. They're gonna look at you like you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta, you know, you just be in the spirit. So you might be at work. And somebody saying something about this and that, you know, I know how I am. Sometimes I'm like, hey man, you just gotta have faith, man. So you gotta work it out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know, our thought process is like that first and foremost. Like, look, bro, we're gonna just have faith in that. We don't give a damn about the odds stacked against us. We always had the odds stacked against us, man. This ain't nothing new. This is what we good at, man. We good at having faith. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just be talking to people. I forgot. I was saying something to somebody like, hey, sometimes you just gotta push forward. Things get rough, but you gotta keep pushing through. Right, but then you be kind of hard pressed to even use those words, faith. Sometimes you gotta have faith. People look at you all with faith. Why would I want to have faith? Well, you tripping out here, man. Faith. Yo, you must be one of them religious nuts. So y'all don't have faith in nothing, huh? You know, but they don't have faith in the Lord is really what it boils down to, because they have faith, right? You know, you go into the bathroom in the middle of the night You hit that light switch. You're not hoping that the goddamn light come on. You're not, oh fuck, I hope this light come on. No, you just go in there like, look. Yeah, I give you a different example. Some Jakes have faith in their cars. The majority of Edomites don't have faith in their cars. Some Jakes get in their car. They walk into their car like, I hope this motherfucker start today. They get in, they put that key in before they go to work in the morning. Like, man, I hope this motherfucker start. That's a nigga with faith right there that his car start out. He hoping that bitch start up. Esau get inside the car. They be like, click, boom, start up. They push button, boom. They not hoping that the car. They know the car gonna start up, right? So, but nevertheless, in reality, that's also having faith too. They know so much they ain't even thinking twice about it, man. So they have faith, but they have faith in the wrong things, man. When it comes to, putting their trust in the Lord and letting the Lord do things, they rather have faith in what? Their own selves, right? And their own selves can't save them. Their own arm can't save them, right? So they have faith as well too. They just have faith in the wrong things. But it's just weird that they would look at us like, when we talk about having faith in the Lord, this is actually the faithless city, man. Because you a bug out, you just bugged out and going way off if you believe in the Lord out here, man. You gonna put your trust in and praying to the Lord? The fuck is wrong with you, bro? This is how they look at you out here, man. Oh man, I hope that the police don't give me this ticket. I'm about to pray before I go to court. I'm about to pray that I get this here job. I'm about to have faith that this finna happen. Bro, you bugging out, man. What's gonna happen is gonna happen, man. All right. But it's funny that the spirit of this here place whenever things go wrong. It's the first thing that these people all say. Pray for me. Well, why can't you pray for yourself? They know that they far from the Lord anyway, man. All right. It says all this because Nineveh, the beautiful and faithless city, mistress of deadly charms. All right. If this ain't the place of deadly charms, look at what's going on nowadays, man. And even with these transformers out here, man, it's getting bad out here, man. Bad out here. Right, and most people, if you're not walking circumspect, you're gonna get caught up into this thing, man. Seen a video the other day. I might put up a video talking about some. They ordered like Uber Eats or some shit. There's a little transformer talking about some. Look, I'm about to. Let me see how I can word this. I'm about to top this guy off, basically. I'm about to see if I can top this guy off. See, he answered the door, right, and it's the delivery dude is at the door. And shit like that. He like, oh, what's up, blah, blah, blah. He like, hey, you better calm down before you get topped up over here. Be like, oh, shit, what's up then? And go on in there and get topped up, not knowing the whole time this is a dude. He don't realize it's a dude because it looked like a goddamn female. And you can't tell at all. This is where we at now. I mean, obviously, if you was walking circumspectly, you should know something is wrong. All right, my first instinct is like, nah, I'm about to go behind this damn door. This bitch finna rob my ass. Got me set up because this shit, like, for men, that cat not just falling in your lap as a man, unless you Drake. You know what I'm saying? And even if it being Drake, you got to watch out because these bitches trying to get a bag off you. So it's not really they trying to give you the box like that, bro. If you thinking that there's something wrong with you, that's why you got to walk circumspect. But nevertheless, there was another scenario where I think this was a rapper or somebody like that. Maybe not. But this was a female got arrested. And they said when she got arrested, they had to take off the lace front, the eyelashes, the makeup, and everything else like that. They showed a side-by-side picture. She looked completely different. So, hey, man, this is full of charms, lies, enchantments, and everything else like that, man. All right? You seeing Jake over here, Northern Kingdom praying to these idols and things they have, wearing these little red bracelets. Check that out, man. You see a lot of Northern Kingdom Jakes walking around with these little red bracelets on. You ask them, what's that bracelet for? Oh, it's for protection. Protection from what? The evil spirits. Okay, who are you getting this protection from? Oh, one of these, I forgot how they call it, a guardian angel or something like that. Like, why don't you just go to God? I could just go over here and deal with them instead. It's like they worship the Virgin Mary. Like, well, ain't the baby that's supposed to be more important than the mama? Like, why don't you go to him? He grown now. He's not a child no more. Why don't you go to him? Or if not, if you know that this was sent by God, why don't you just go to God himself? Like, why y'all got to go to this here chick? Like, I don't get it. But nevertheless, this is the enchantments that is going forth in Babylon the Great. Not just that, look at the TV and the media. Man, you seeing like deep fakes nowadays. The knowledge now of deep fakes is coming out. But let somebody tell you that there was a deep fake in the year 2005, right? That what you seeing on TV is not really what's going on. This is all fake. This is not, the person you think you watching on TV is not really him saying this shit, man. You over here thinking that these people is real people, but it's not real, right? This is all enchantment. If you ever seen the movie Iron Man 2, I think it is. I think it's Iron Man 2, right? They got a character in there called the Mandarin. Now, the Mandarin, and this is verbatim to what happened in real life, right? They got the Mandarin. They painted as the boogeyman. They needed a boogeyman to go over there and wage war so they could sell weapons. Basically, they was in the arms race, just selling weapons, just making money. We don't give a damn. We need to. Hey, we got to create a war in order to sell to move our stock off the shelf. We got to create a demand for it, man. We got all these bombs over here. Ain't no. It's a peace on the earth. We can't sell bombs, so we got to go create a conflict. All right, to start selling bombs. So what do? They go create them a terrorist. All right, the Mandarin. Go watch Iron Man 2. You'll see it. And then this is the exact same shit of what you see over there with ISIS and shit like that and all that. Because, hey, do your deep dive research. That shit was headquartered out of Colorado, right? The head of ISIS was an American-born Edomite. It was an Edomite that was born in America that so-called went over there and everything else like that. Now, you listen to his name. If you're just reading his name on paper, you would think it's one of these Muslim-ass niggas. But it was actually an American Edomite that was the so-called head of that. And they did all of that, right? Just so that they could sign that law saying, hey, look, the whole earth is now a battlefield, and we can use our means to even kill Americans, even on American soil with the military, because before they couldn't use the American military on American soil and or to kill American citizens. But because, we never thought about it, an American citizen would leave our country to go to another country to become a terrorist to fight against our country. There you go. You have that. But these are all enchantments. Like I said, watch the movie Iron Man. I believe it's Iron Man 2. Let me double check. With the Mandarin on there. In fact, I might even play a little clip of that. The Mandarin. What was the movie I called it? Oh yeah, Iron Man. Or it might have been Iron Man 3. Salak. So it's Iron Man 3. So real quick,
I consider
listen.
myself a teacher. America. Ready for
And I don't know if
another lesson. In 1864 in Sand Creek, Colorado, the U.S. military waited till the friendly Cheyenne braves had all gone hunting, waited to attack and slaughter the families left behind, and claim their land. 39 hours ago, the Ali Al-Salam Air Base in Kuwait was attacked.
so. This is all remnant to what they was having, like the little ISIS videos that was coming out and everything else like that. The nigga on TV threatening and shit, right? So now, that was one clip of the movie. And the other one, this is when Tony Stark actually, or Iron Man, actually rolled up and found a nigga. Like when they said, we found Bin Laden type of shit. This is the same scenario, right? Now, he found Bin Laden, quote-unquote, the terrorist, even though it was a different terror cell, right? Let me just fast forward to the part. So look, he's finding the dude.
I wouldn't go in there for 20 minutes. Now, which one of you is Vanessa?
That's me.
Ah, Nessie. Did you know that fortune...
First of all, now the dude that was in the first clip that was talking all and blah, 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 blah. And now this dude with a different British accent, it's the same person. The exact same person. Now they'll tell you what's going on.
Aren't even Chinese.
Some guy who I...
They're made by Americans based on a Japanese recipe. Hey! Bloody hell. Don't move. I'm not moving. You want something? Take it. Although the guns are all fake because those wankers wouldn't trust me with the real ones. What? Hey, do you fancy either of the birds? Heard enough. You're not him, Mandarin. The real guy. Where? Where's the Mandarin? Where is it? Whoa. He's here. But he's not here. He's here, but he's not here. What do you mean? It's complicated. Hey, it's complicated. It right? Is. It's complicated. Uncomplicated. Ladies out. Get out of the bed. Get in the bathroom. Sit.
All right, so you can go do the research on that yourself. But as you can see in this here this clip, this is all what enchantments. You know, it's all deception, right? Acting as an actor, like you know, watch the movie. Like I said, it's actually Iron Man 3. So correction, Iron Man 3 that has the Mandarin in there, right? The so-called terrorists is blowing up all these things. The whole world is shook and everything else is going on. All right, it's just exact same play that America does, man. All right, you think that these things is going on. So when we talk about, let's say for instance, ISIS, we be like, we're not worried about them niggas like that. That's not the big threat that you should be worried about. Oh, you guys are ISIS sympathizers. You guys are with ISIS. Like, no, we just know the truth behind this shit, man. Just like old boy, the actor, right, that's over here talking about, he not scared of the goddamn Mandarin and shit that's going on. He be like, nah, I know what's going on. These governments is just doing business behind the scene. They need, you know, somebody to go out there and do business with them. You know what I'm saying? This shit is all fake, man. This is WWF the whole time. But the fans think it's real. As long as the fans think it's real, they're going to bring in revenue. So we have to keep this here enchantment going on, man. You have to think, hey, look, wrestling is the perfect example of the enchantments of Babylon the Great, man. Because you watching these effects as a kid, man, you see them Triple H hitting the nigga in the head with a sledgehammer. How many people he done hit in the head with a sledgehammer, man? How many people done got, you know, now, or Sting with the baseball bat, man? Right? I was watching one of these little clips, you know, the nostalgic clips, and they was talking about a certain scene back in the days when they was running in the ring, and one guy came in the ring with a real baseball bat, but he was the first one in. He comes around, and he's hitting the steel steps with it. Boom, boom, boom. For the effects, the enchantment to the crowd, this is a real bat. But the guy who would actually be hitting people with the bat has a rubber bat. He didn't expose that. But see, the enchantment was the first guy runs in with the commotion, hitting the bat on the boom, boom, boom. Oh shit, that's a real fucking bat. Now, these ain't sound effects. I'm out here in the stadium. I'm watching. Look, he done dented that shit with that bat. The next guy come in with the fake bat, and it's, you know what I'm saying, it's a rubber bat. You know what I'm saying? Or a rubber sledgehammer, man. All right, so, you know, looking at how things are played out with these enchantments, even hell, like I said, these women, they look one way, and you take off all this makeup and shit, it's a whole nother way, man. These women complain about these guys. Oh, they over here flexing. I heard some women the other day talking about, hey, these guys be flexing in on these cars. It's not even their cars. Their cars are all rented. The houses is all fake. The money's not theirs. Their jewelry isn't theirs. Like, well, shit, your body ain't yours. Your titties is fake. That ass is fake. Them lips is fake. Them eyelashes is fake. The hair is fake. Your face is fake. What that stomach is fake. You got a little, what they call a fucking body thingy on. But this is all the enchantments of Babylon the Great, man. People are walking around. Hey, another thing, people walking around here like they actually got some money out in this bitch, man. But in credit card debt like a motherfucker right now, man. Full of debt. There's more people in debt than there's people that's living without debt, man. So, you know, you see a dude that's riding around in a $100,000 car, right? That's got $100,000 worth of debt because he has this $100,000 car versus a dude that's walking down the street that, you know what I'm saying, that don't got no debt. The dude without no debt actually got more money than the nigga with 100,000, even though the guy with the 100,000 is so-called showing forth, man. And, again, I was listening to somebody speak about these things beforehand. It's like, yo, like speaking to these women, they want the dude with the illusion of resources and having things, but not really the dude who really has these things, because people who really, really have money out here in America, they're not walking around wearing their money on their clothes and shit like that, man. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they just riding in regular ass cars. So Elon might be riding in Teslas and shit, but you know what I'm saying? Them other cats, they're not riding around. But you see Jake that be having the illusion of money, have his big ass fake gold ass chain on, big ass rims on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, I got a Phantom, or I got the Chrysler because it looked like a Phantom. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the real deal, man. All right, but this here place is full of what? Enchantments, enticements, deception. This is that place, man. What other nation is like that on the face of the earth where you go around like, yo, the shit that they be talking about over there, it's all lies, it's all bullshit, it's all fake and everything else like that. They talk about that in the way they talk about North Korea is in reality exactly how America is, man. All the things they say, oh, North Korea is all bad. They tell their people lies all day long. They only have one narrative. All right, they don't really let the people leave out of America to understand what's going on. Now, granted, you can leave America. Well, what percentage of people in America actually leave America compared, like, to the whole amount of America, right? Probably only probably way less than 10% of Americans actually ever leave America, right, to go see other places, man. I remember one time I was in Las Vegas, and I was out there, chilling out there in Vegas in one of them hotels, and I made friends with this Hamite. I don't know if he was actually a Hamite or not. He might have been a Jake. Probably was a Jake. But he was from out there in Africa, right? And I was asking him about Africa. I'm like, bruh, is it really like how they be saying on TV with the bushmen and the fucking animals walking around and shit like that? He's like, nah, man. Those are all lies, man. Africa, certain places in Africa look way better than America, man, with the high rises and everything. And to show you about this here enchantment that they put on your eyes, go to any of these places that you think it's all fucked over like that, like Africa. Africa's a continent, not a country. Go look up some of these countries in Africa. Right, you can put that in on YouTube as well too. Go on YouTube and type in Africa in 4K, Russia in 4K, North Korea in 4K. Right? You granted they'll probably have, you have to dig for North Korea shit, but nevertheless, China 4K, or you can put in different places in China in 4K. You see some of these places, they tell you it's like all super poor and everything else like that. And they looking way better than America, right? But the enticement and the enchantments that they have over here, like I said, the stuff they tell you about North Korea is really what they have over here, man. All right, they say, oh well, they got the one dictator leader that's been ruling the whole place for so long. They pass it down this and that, because you get the illusion that you have multiple different leaders that's going on here in America from different sides. But look at the policy that's being pushed, right? Let's just say, like, if you understand stocks and things like that, you may have a stock that's very volatile, but it's pretty much a flat line across, right? Where the stock jumps all the way up and falls all the way down, but jumps all the way up. Let me give you numbers, right? Let's say the stock is $20, right? And the stock immediately jumped to $80, then dropped down to $5. $80, $5, $80, $5, $80, $5. But at the end of a year, that end price of that stock is still $20. That stock ain't really went nowhere. It still stayed at $20. So that company's like, we want our stock to stay at $20. It's gonna always be $20. But you as an investor, keep seeing the stock go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. You're like, that's a bad investment. I don't know if it's going up. Listen, this shit is gonna always be $20 no matter what you see over here. Hey, go get your money, man. We gotta go a little to the left and a little to the right so we don't look like we manipulate the system. So when you look at all these presidents, as far as the laws that they've been putting in play, because as soon as the next president get in the office, they would just reverse what the last president did. You would just have this back and forth going on forever. Nothing would ever get accomplished. But in reality, what you have going on is they go a little far to the left, and they come back a little far to the right, but then they manage to keep going down that straight line, man. All right, but they give you that illusion. I spoke about this, I believe, last week with the Hegelian dialectic, right? The left-right paradigm, right? Yeah, they both part of the same bird, right? That's what people don't understand. It's like, it's the same bird. You go over here trying to figure out what side that you should be on, all right? Or going back to WWF, all right? Are you on this side, or are you on that? Are you on DX side, or are you on Stone Cold and them side? Like, you do know that these niggas all getting paid by the same person, right? They all employees to the same company, right? It's not like one of these guys is gonna do something so bad, like at a job, a real job, where you go to a job and you get into a fight with a nigga at a job, then you get fired for causing disruption to the job. These niggas go to work and fight every day at work, right? And then it's like, you think that they at odds with each other, but in reality, they all co-workers, they all buddy-buddy. You can go on there and, like, YouTube, how many 5 times wrestlers saved other wrestlers. Like, the guy that they fighting is supposed to jump out the ring and kick this nigga in the face, but this nigga didn't jump far enough and he about to bust his ass. Now the guy that's about to get kicked in the face got to reach in and try to catch the nigga that's kicking him in the face so that he don't hurt himself. When you watching, you think that the guy on the inside is trying to hurt the other nigga. They're not trying to hurt each other, man. They over there protecting one another in the ring and things like that, man. All right, but yet and still, hey, you have that enchantment, that illusion of these things is going on. You believe this stuff just as if it was WWF. But this is what America would be doing. All right, you see, the reality of, well, you don't see the reality of America. Everybody think that everything is all good. Even to this day, everybody think that everybody is good, living good, rich, got money, all these things. Most people think that, minimum wage, let's say minimum annual wage in America is $100,000. When in reality, not very many people make $100,000 a year in America, man. All right. So, but that's the part of the illusion, man. Everybody think that everybody out here balling, man, but it's not so, right? I was talking to somebody that was from, she's from, Australia? Not Australia, New Zealand. They was talking about how she was somewhere else. She was like, yeah, all the fat people over there is a sign of being rich. And I came over here, I seen all these fat folks thought they was rich. Like, actually, that's a sign of being of a poor mindset. You just gluttonous and eating all kind of bad foods and things like that, man. But, it's kind of funny about how people view us in America that's not from America. You should go out and go talk to some of these people, man, and ask them these foreigners, how they really feel about, or what they really see, or what they think about. Is this really like this? Like, yeah, this is what we do out here, man. They be in shock and in awe about the things that's going on, man. All right? Going back to this Nahum chapter 3. Oh, no, I think I was reading that in, let me go back to the NLT. All right. Nahum 3 and 4 says, and this in the NLT. All this because Nineveh, the beautiful and faithless city, mistress of deadly charms, enticed the nations with her beauty. And again, going into that, feeding them that Babylonian juice. You guys can be like us, just get on our standard, get with us, and do all these things. And hey, they say something about an even tide raises all boats. The concept is, hey, you get on board with us, we all gonna go to the top, right? Sell these people this Babylonian juice. This is why the nations are mad, man, because they didn't want to benefit from taking your lead, man. All right. It says, entice the nations with her beauty. She taught them all her magic and enchanting people everywhere, right? And so, hey, all the things that, that's destroying this nation, what do you think that they're doing? They're pushing this ideology out on the rest of the people, man, to keep people, like, there's that KGB officer, Yuri, whatever his name was, who said, hey, the steps of doing this stuff is what? First of all, in order to be able to brainwash the people in a hole and keep them in a trap, not believing in anything, or believing in whatever you want them to believe in all these lies and not ever to be able to see the truth, what you have to do is to demoralize them. And you see it play out. The more demoralized people are, the less common sense they so-called have. They'll just be believing in lies. Like, they don't see, no, you can demoralize somebody. Like, they had that one girl there was one guy that was trending on YouTube talking about it was a dude who was a transformer, right? Talking about he a bad bitch, and why the guys in the club don't see it, and he leaving the club early because they don't want to holler at him. But see, he been demoralized to the point of like, no, nigga, you look like Shrek. You look like Shrek in some girl outfit. You still look like a dude with long hair, and like, even if you was an actual woman, like, guys ain't finna be falling over you, and especially like you in a group of your homegirls, and they actually girls, and they got like, you know what I'm saying, some type of femininity in them, look somewhat like a female. Even if you was a female, man, they gonna go with the skinnier chicks before they go with this big chick. And you ain't even a chick, dude. You a dude just like this. But see, you've been demoralized so bad to the point that you will go on live and say, these guys are just trash, they don't like me, this isn't it, they're lost. While all of us is sane in the mind, like, no, bitch, there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with these niggas, there's something wrong with you. But they've been demoralized so bad to the point, like I said, you watch the KGB guy, he'll say you be so demoralized that the truth will be right there in your face, but you'll never be able to accept the truth because you believe so much in the lies, man. And that's where you have not just the people here in America, but what they have pushed out on to some of these other folks around the globe, man. You have some of these Arab nations that didn't have their customs and things intact for thousands of years. Now all of a sudden, some of their youth is looking at, you know what, we want to go out there and take off these wrappings and start twerking all over the place and doing what these Americans is doing, not realizing that, hey, you do what we doing, you're going to come with the same problems. You about to have crackheads all over the place, single mothers all over the place, your shit is all destroyed, because they know that, like, look, the family unit, as long as you got a family unit intact, it's hard to take over people. But once they all divided up against one another, they ain't got nobody to help them defend themselves, man. And they demoralized, so they going to believe whatever. So, hey, this is what they over pushing onto all these other people, man. This is how they get these people to follow after their narratives and to do the things that they would do, and just to do the dumbest shit in the whole world. Give us your real money for our fake money. Oh, yeah, this sounds good. Work for us forever, and you get the benefit. And, oh, this sounds good. But see, if you had sane minds, they wouldn't be following these things, man. But this is the wool or the enchantment that Babylon the Great has put over the whole earth, man. Got them thinking that this is a righteous place. Now, the only people, you would see people who are in the so-called righteous mind, the people that's calling America out, nah, we don't like this, we don't want this no more. Nah, this is all bad. But what do they showcase these people at? Oh, you're you're an extremist, you're a traditionalist, or you're all this and this now. We need to move away from these types of ways. But these are the people who, they see how things going and keep things going in a perpetual motion, more or less to say, man. You need men to be having sex with women in a family structure to raise up kids and give them a structure so that they don't be going out here doing no fuck shit in the earth, man. And disciplining your children. All right, so we could all be here. But what are they teaching you out here? Don't discipline your children. Men need to be sleeping with men, women with women. Don't reproduce, don't repopulate, because we don't want you niggas on the earth anyway. But yet and still, they think that that's the so-called right way to go. This is that deception that Babylon the Great has sprinkled his magic all over the place, man. And look around the rest of the globe. It's not speaking about these European nations or these Edomite nations, but all these other nations, minus the Edomite nations, one of the major things as part of their societies and their cultures is what? Reproduction. They all with reproducing and things like that, man. China, you seen them with the one China policy, but you seen what happened to them, man. All right, but as far as the rest of these nations, here the Americans say, oh, I ain't got enough money to have kids right now. It's not the right time to have kids. Hey, but you have these folks in these how you call these uh like Spanish countries that are poor countries and things like that. They popping kids out left and right. Now you make more money than they make the whole year in 1 month. And you talking about something you ain't got enough money to have children. When these folks is making less than what you making, you know what I'm saying? You make what they make in a month, what they make in a year, and they let's have kids because they understand this is the richest and keeping them going and moving forward, man. But over here in America, they would tell you about contraceptives and things like that, man. Sleeping around with any and everybody, being promiscuous. All right, hey, you gonna tell these women in these other countries they can go sleep with as many men as they want. They're like, nah, why would I want to go do that? That's gonna lower my value for trying to get with a man. I want to get married at the end of the day. You don't have them talking about I want to be an independent woman. I don't need no man. That's only a construct of over here in America, man. Them women in the Philippines, they don't want to be independent women. They all want husbands, man. Them women over there in China and everything else. They, matter of fact, China and Japan got this scenario going on, man. China tell you that if you over, they got a term. If you over 25 or 27, they call you leftovers out there, man. All right, they have a term. I forgot what the term is in Japan. That's like that. But then you got these women that's out earning men over there, and now they ain't even hooking up no more. But they realize, like, yeah, okay, now these women is liberated. They making some money and everything. But once they get old and they die off, who's gonna replace them? Because they not having children out here, man. But this is that enticement, that Babylonian juice has been pushed off into the earth, man. So you start to see with these European nations. I can't think of the name of the documentary to cite, but I'm gonna to look it up. Probably do a video on it. But going into people have this mindset that there's a such thing as a how you say overpopulated Earth, when in reality the Earth is underpopulated. All right, in a sense of you have to have a. Let's put it this way: if it's gonna take me 10 men, if I got 10 men to build this here building behind me, it'll take us a year to build this building. 10 men, right? And I fire 8 of them. I'm down to 2 men left. How long is it gonna take me to build this building, right? It don't fucking matter how long it's gonna take. The answer is, it's not gonna be the same amount of time it's gonna take for 10. So if it's gonna take 10 men to build a building in 1 year, if I got 2 people, if I fire 8 of them and I'm only down to 2, this building ain't gonna get done in that 1 year. All right. In order for me to stay on schedule, what do I need to do? If I fire 8 people out of the 10, I'm left with 2. In order to fulfill my schedule deadline, what do I need to do? I need to add back those 8 again, right? So I can be back at 10, right? I can let all 10 go, but I got to replace them with 10 more. Well, what are we out here doing? Now, I was saying this to somebody beforehand, like, look, my grandmother, right? You know, they come from a large line of motherfuckers. There was like 17 of them, right? My mom and them, it was 6 or 7 of them in one family because, you know, her father actually had more kids than them. It was actually like 12 of them. But anyway, let's just say it's like 7 of them. Right? But then in me and my generation, it was only me and my sisters. It's only 2 of us. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, we getting smaller and smaller. Once these people die off, you know what I'm saying, who's going to replace them? And now you at the generation now where, hey, don't nobody want to reproduce. Yeah, no, I ain't having no kids. I want a single and independent. I don't need no kids with these hood rats and so on and so forth, man. So we actually underpopulated, man. But what? With the witchcraft that they put over the people. Oh, no, we don't got enough food and resources and all this. Like, motherfucker, have you ever lived in America? Talking about a shortage of food. As long as we got all-you-can-eat buffets and bullshit that we can eat 24 hours a day, because it's not like we relegated to just eating 7-Eleven taquitos. That's the only thing that we got to eat out here, or a bag of Doritos and Takis and shit. That's not all we got to eat, man. Like I said, we got an abundance of good food that we sit there and throw away on a daily basis, man. So, hey, man, that's not a problem, man. All right, but they would have you believe all these things, man. All right, or there's not enough land. We're all overpopulated. Hey, only people that believe that they live in these major cities like New York, where they live in these high-rise cities, they don't, bro, I could take you 10 minutes from where we at, or let's say 15 minutes down that way, you're going to run into nothing but cow pastures and shit like that. It ain't nothing out that way, man. This is the city part where all the high-rises and things is. Down that way is the water. That way over there is cow pastures, man, for miles and miles and miles, all the way till you get to the other side of Florida, man. All right, so, I mean, there's plenty of land out here that's uninhabited, man. Plenty of farmland and everything else like that, man. But yet and still, hey, the witchcraft that they have over your mind, oh no, we got to get rid of these people, man. Y'all the problem. That's why they say carbon emissions. Y'all breathing too much, man. Y'all taking up the cows is burping and farting on the planet Earth, man. It's killing us. Hey, with cows burping and farting is killing us. Like, you think God didn't design a flaw in this shit? That, like, so God created a cow that burp and fart. But this the shit that's destroying the Earth. And there's not a cycle with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, God is, like, you got animals and shit that die. You got a dead animal on the side of the road. This nigga gonna stink. It's gonna fuck up a lot of the aroma around you, right? What did God program on this earth to take care of that naturally? Vultures and shit like that, man. Look, all right, there's a such thing as roadkill, animals is dying off, right? And instead of me creating men, that's gonna be your purpose in your job later on in life. You know, they got, you know, the animal services and shit. But naturally, God and programmed something as far as the vultures to come and take care of that, and just the decay stage in itself, man. So if he was to program that shit, how much more, you know, the rest of the shit that Esau's over here trying to change, man. See, this is the Antichrist system that Esau has going forth, man. God said that the fruit and the vegetables had their seeds in it. Esau said, no, we don't need all this here stuff, man. Most I said man should be with a woman and reproduce, be fruitful and multiply. Esau said, nah, don't multiply. You know what I'm saying? Look at all these things that Esau's doing that's contrary to what the Most High has set forth, man. And again, you know, I giving you all the answers. The Edomites, the Babylonians, America, they all the same people. But if you still don't, you know, the question you should be asking yourself is, when I'm saying all these things, what nation is over here taking out all the seeds out of all the fruits and the vegetables? Is it Chinese people? Are we having arguments over the news? Man, there ain't no more seeds in the fucking shit no more because the Chinese done GMO'd all the goddamn food. Now we got Chinese Santos crops all over the goddamn place. We pissed off because of Americans is doing this shit. American companies, Monsanto and them is doing this shit, man. All right? We're not mad that, oh, fucking China's over here dropping nukes on the face of the earth, nuking everybody. Russia nuking, you know, Russia is the only other people that's on par with America when it comes to nuclear power. And these niggas ain't even fighting a real war right about now. They got like they goddamn JV team out there fighting. They ain't really started the shit going on over there. But what I'm saying is, who's actually oppressing the whole earth, man? Who's doing these things on a global scale like this, man? Who's pushing out these ideologies and all this witchcraftness and enchantments on the whole earth, man? Who's changing up the natural order? Isaiah 24 speak about this. They transgress the laws of the earth, man. All right, and change all the ordinance. That's why the Most High has to empty the earth is laid. Let's just grab it. It's Isaiah chapter. I want to say 3. We'll start at 3. Isaiah 24:3. It says, damn it. It says Isaiah 24:3. It says the land. Man, let me just start at the top. Isaiah 24:1. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. So the Lord's going to have to make this here place empty, man. The Lord's going to have to hit that, what we say, the factory reset button on this here place, man. All right, why? It says, and it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant. Hold on. I got too much going on right now. Give me 1 second. Let's keep going. All right. So going back, Isaiah 24:2. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master. As with the maid, so with her mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the lender, so with the borrower. As with the taker of usury, so with the user, so with the giver of usury to him. So all these things is out of whack, man. It's all corrupted. Verse 3, the land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh hath spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away, and the world languished and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also, so hey, the whole earth is languishing, man, under the leadership and the gods of who? All right, who is ruling the whole earth that's causing all these things to languish, man? Who's causing morality to decay on the earth? Like I said, it's not the Chinese bringing the shit that there's some shit over in China that they over there doing that is a trend to them. Oh yeah, this is what, like that we don't do, that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? But there's not nothing that we do that they don't know about. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, twerking and shit. You know, give you examples. Like we all know something that's twerking, but this is not like a so-called Chinese concept. You know what I'm saying? It's not like an Arab concept that they know of that they do over. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, like something that we might see on a video that they do, and then all of a sudden, we start doing it. What is that girl named Kokona or whatever it is? Them Asians was rapping and stuff like that. What are they trying to like come up as an image in? All right, hip hop and rap, which is here in America, come from Jake. You know what I'm saying? Not from over there. You don't have, I'm pretty sure they have their own type of music and things like that. You don't really have. We had one song. We had one song that came out. That was like I think it was an Elamite song with that Jake kind of like got into. this is this the shit. I'm gonna play a quick second. And see, that's like the only shit that Jake then pulled off from some shit they got going on over there. Like I said, they got their own little music. Them Arabs had a type of music and everything else like that. But they shit ain't really trending over here in America like that, man. But I guarantee you go over there and they over there trending. So like you have like what your girl name was, I think Beyonce. They had her over there opening up one of their little whatever they had, casino or something, opening up. She was performing over there. You have rappers from America and stuff go over to these nations to perform, but you don't ever have they celebrities come over here and perform for us like we know who the fuck that they are. You see what I'm saying? So hey, it's a one-way street, a one direction. It's coming from America to these other nations, man. All right. Going back, Isaiah 24 and verse 4 again. The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languished and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws and changed the ordinance and broken the everlasting covenant. So they changed the laws, and broken the everlasting covenant. But who is the they? All right, the people that will be in charge of the earth. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. How would the wicked be ruling the earth? They would be ruling the earth the same way that they would be, in wickedness, man. So now that they transgressed the laws which the Lord has set up to live a righteous life, what did they do? They turned everything upside down, all right? They turned everything backwards, man. So you have to understand that this is, you know, the place that the scriptures speak about, that great evil place, the worst place. If you used to go and you ask these Christians about what's the worst place in the Bible that they talk about, what landmass is the worst place that they talk about? Oh, it's Babylon, Babylon the Great. You know, they talk about that in Revelation, Babylon the Great and everything else like that. Okay, well, and then you would ask, if you was to understand, about the people in the Bible, which they ain't gonna understand this, but you ask, who will be ruling the earth at the very end when the Lord will return? Right now, you can go to, was that 2nd Ezra 6 and was that 6? 2nd Ezra 6 and 7 or 6 and 9? You can start at 7, but the point is in verse 9. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So, if you was to know about that and understand, hey, Babylon the Great will be ruling at the end of the earth. It's the most dominating place. That's where the Lord's going to have to come and destroy, right? Then you would also have, who is ruling at the end of the earth? The Edomites. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? Now, you looking around at what you have going on. What nation on the face of the earth is the most dominant nation on the face of the earth, not just militarily wise, but influence wise on the face of the earth? America. So, when you put all three of these things together, so, hey, where's America in the Bible? All right, or where's Babylon the Great in real life? These two are one and the same. Babylon the Great and America, they're the same exact place, man. All right, and who is the so-called, or who are the Edomites? The Edomites would be ruling the earth. The Edomites would be ruling Babylon the Great. Well, who is ruling, Babylon the Great is what? America, right? We can get that that's in Jeremiah as well, too. Jeremiah in one chapter speak about, though I set thy nest against, amongst the stars. And then also in Obadiah, they say the same thing. In one place, talk about it being, well, let's just get it, because people, they scripture say precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, right? So let's read this in Obadiah, which I just passed. 1 and verse 3. Obadiah, let's start up at the top, and then we'll get there. Let me get to this other chapter first, too. Jeremiah. So you can read all of this, but let me read so in Obadiah 1, and let's start at the top. Obadiah 1 and 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. So this is talking about Edom. It says, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. It says, arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Now remember, this is talking about Edom. The pride of thy heart has deceived thee, and thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, though thou shalt set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So that was speaking into Edom, right? Jeremiah chapter 49, and start at verse 15. Let's start at verse 14. It says, I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather yourselves together, come up against her, rise up against her in battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. All right, and this is all being played out amongst America right now. Because beforehand, they was the head of everybody, man. America would say jump, they would say how high. Now everybody's questioning America what they would be doing if they want to get down with her or separating themselves from her right now, man. All right. Verse 16, thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thy heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the heights of the hills, though thou should make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. And Edom, again it's all talking about Edom, shall be a desolation, everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and hisses the plagues thereof. Let's jump over to verse 20. It says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom, and his purpose that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely they shall make their habitation desolate with them. Right? So, hey, this is all talking about Edom, right? And let's go over a page. Or maybe 2 pages. We can read this in I didn't read that other one, but let's read this real quick. Isaiah 50 and verse 45, it says, there's somewhere else I want to start as well too, but we'll start here. It says, oh, it's the same chapter, that's why. All right, verse 45, 50 and 45, it says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Babylon, right? Now he's speaking about Babylon. It says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Babylon, and his purpose that he has purposed against the Chaldees. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. He shall make their habitation desolate with them. Right? So let's go over to same thing there. I just wanted to get to a certain point. Another precept. These precepts all line up together. Like you can literally read 49, 50, and 51 and Obadiah, and they all pretty much saying the same thing. All right. But as you see here, one place they say Babylon, another place they say Edom. All right. But they're basically, how do I say, interchangeable between one another. So it's like I said. So Babylon will be ran by the Edomites. All right. The Edomites will be ruling the most dominating nation on the face of the earth, which we see today is America. All right, and America is ran by who you call the so-called white man, right? So again, and they fit these prophecies by way of what? Living by his sword, by the force of his sword, man. Beating the nations with a continual stroke, man. It wasn't the Chinese that did this, man. It was the so-called white man that did all these things, man. And from what nation? America, man. All right. I don't know if I can get through this real quick, but read Revelation 18. We'll try to get through as much of it as possible, but Revelation, man, I want to read We'll try to read through it as quick as possible. Revelation 18:1. After these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, has become the habitation of devils, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And that's where we at now with all these demonic ass spirits rolling around. It's nothing but wickedness. It says, for all nations have drunken of the wine of her wrath. Going back to Jeremiah 51 or 50. All right. It says, all the nations have drunken of the wine of her wrath, the fornications of the earth, and all the kings of the earth have committed fornications with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And going through, how a lot of these nations became rich was through what? Trade and commerce, man. Global trade, world trade, man. So you have to understand who's at the top and who's at the head of all these things, man. Who is the one that was putting all these things together? Now what you're seeing going on is what? China's trying to build that system. Russia's trying to build that system. The BRICS nations trying to build that system. But who are they trying to steal that system from right about now, man? Who already has that system in place? All right? The so-called white man being here in America, man. The Edomites, man. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and you receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Remember her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double, according to her works, and the cup which she have filled, fill to her double. So, hey, that's going to be the recompense back on America. You can read that in Habakkuk chapter 2. All right, going into, thou that spoiled, well, that's Isaiah, thou that spoilest and wasn't spoiled and dealt treacherously, that they dealt not treacherously with them. Same thing going into that as well, too, but because I have spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people are going to spoil you. All right. It says, how much she have lived, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. So, we're supposed to go into this in Isaiah 47. Same thing, man. All right. You have all these, like I said, the golden city, the great city, man. You have the abundance of all these things, man, to be able to go live like a king at any point in time, man. All right. Go live in a high rise in the downtown areas overlooking the water, man. All right. You don't have to be a so-called king to be having no view like that nowadays here in America, man. All right. It says, verse 7, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. She saith in her heart, I am a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. That's the sentiment of America. We're going to go on forever, man. We ain't going to never fall, man. Even in the midst of all this stuff that's going down now, they say, yeah, I think America is declining in its power. But we'll probably still be around in this position for the next 20 years or so, man. It's going to be a slow decline. It's not going to just go away overnight. And see, this is even the so-called sentiment of these people that's, not to say against America, but they say, see something from a more clear, they're not so-called pro-American. They see things from like, yeah, we see, hey, we can examine even if we're in trouble. We're not going to just be blindly saying, nah, everything going to be straight just because it's us. Nah, man, even they think that, America may fall, but it's going to be far out, man. But they think that they're going to go on forever, man. All right. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh power who judges her. So in one day, all this here judgment is going to come to fruition. All right, now in Isaiah 47, they talk about old virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, she was never touched. What nation on the face of the earth has never been encountered a war, an outside existential threat? America only had a war with itself. And that's like akin to you playing with yourself as a young teenage child. Hey, you can bust your own nut playing with yourself. Don't mean that you didn't have sex with somebody. God damn it, there's a difference. All right, nobody from the outside came in and ravished your ass up until this here final time, World War III. And then at that point in time, everybody finna run train on your ass, man. All right. It says, verse 8. We just read that. Verse 9. The kings of the earth who have committed fornications and live deliciously with her shall bewail her, and they shall lament for her, and they shall see her smoke. They shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off, for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is her judgment come. And that's going to be twofold, because it's the most dominating military in the face of the earth, and to see it just all go up in 1 hour, man. All of that shit just gone in 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, the rocking and the waving and the explosion of the earth reeling to and fro. The whole earth is going to tremble. The whole earth is going to be a great earthquake on the whole earth when Babylon the Great goes down, man. When Esau goes down, man. All right? When America goes down, man. All this is going to have a global effect on the whole earth, man. All right, financially as well too, man. These nations, they gonna be mad because who the fuck we gonna trade with? Who gonna buy our goods now? Well, that's further down in the chapter, but just, you know, getting ahead of myself. They're gonna be like, hey man, who gonna buy our goods now, man? All right, because America's that consumer nation. That's how these nations get rich off of her. They be selling they work to her, man. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. All right, the merchandise, you know, that's like your boy in Frank Lucas, right? When he was talking to the little dude over in, I believe it was Vietnam, the little Asian dude he was talking to, he was like, look, quitting the head is the same thing as, it's not the same thing as quitting. You know, you won. You know what I'm saying? But old boy's like, you keep going, you might fuck us both up, and we might both, hey, you know what I'm saying? If you up out of here, you know, if you quit now, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm about to lose you as a customer, but at the same time, if you continue on, I might get busted. I might not be able to do this shit no more. So, hey, you know, it's not good. It's not good at all. All right. It says, verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen, purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass and of marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil, fine flour and wheat, beasts and sheep, horse, chariots, slaves, and souls of men. All right, all these resources that America has, man. All these resources that everybody else is trying to either get a piece of or sell to America, man. To get a piece of that pie, man. America has all these resources inside of her, and they're taking them up by through way of what? The enchantment of the people, man. They didn't got the souls of men sucked into America. Hey, they go and risk their life fighting in the wars and everything, and you hear some of them come back after, you know, the Middle East conflict, type of saying, man, we was lied to, we had this and that. Hey, but they stole your soul and had you go over there for, now you sobering up and waking up to this here shit, man. All right, they got people that's out here selling their souls to get rich and famous and to get this and to get that. You got women on OnlyFans, you know, selling their body or viewing their body just for a little bit of a paycheck, man. $10,000, $20,000, like, but that's not no real money, not annually at least. You know, you make $10,000 in a day, that's good, but you $10,000 in a whole year, you make more money than that at McDonald's, man. But yet and still, the minds of these people are so far gone, they don't really see what's really going on out here, man. Some of these women, yeah. You know, like right now, I said this the other day, and I'll close out with this, but I said this the other day about the Freaknik documentary, man. You got all these women coming out, and nobody seen the documentary yet, but they over here talking about what's going on in Freaknik, and we didn't change our lives and all these things. Don't bring this stuff up. Mind you, I was having a conversation with somebody about this the other day. You wouldn't have known about Freaknik unless you lived there or you was going there for like the event, like, you know, Party Town and everything else like that. I happen to be living there during the time. That's how I know about the shit. But anyway, back then, and just knowing the fact, out of, let's say, every 100 people, you may see 5 to 10 people walking around with a camcorder. For y'all who not old enough to goddamn know what a camcorder was, camcorders used to be somewhat big or they was handheld and shit like that. But the point is, camcorders used to be expensive as hell. You know what I'm saying? They $2,000-$3,000 for a camcorder and shit back in those days. So everybody wasn't walking around with no goddamn camcorder like how everybody nowadays got cell phones, right? So these people that was on the Freaknik video and everything that they all worried about, they wasn't necessarily that they was the ones that was camcording themselves to go do this shit. Mind you, they had the camcorder shit and they got it on probably what they call a high 8 tape or a VHS tape. You know, high 8s is these little small looking VHS tapes that go into. If you don't know what a VHS is, again, you're not that old, but anyway, you put it in the VCR type shit. But anyway, they had to convert that shit to a digital file, right? Saying all that to say this, these were people that wasn't, like I said, they didn't necessarily want to be put on. You just walk around with a camcorder, getting everybody here and there, you know. So it wasn't you was uploading yourself. Today, everybody has cell phones. Today, all these women is on Twitter, Instagram, social media, TikTok, Snapchat, OnlyFans, recording their own selves, man. Putting his own things out into the atmosphere. So if they complain about the Freaknik now, these women that's going through this here shit now, their minds are blinded, man. They don't understand what they really doing at 20, 21 years old, how much of their future they're fucking up. You know, listen, they need to have a complete documentary on these porn stars, because I keep seeing certain documentaries on individual women. They're not really documentaries, but having these individual women speak about what their lives are like after doing this. Their families don't talk to them, don't deal with them no more. Or how their friends and their families abandon them, how they can't have relationships, and the boyfriends they try to have don't go out. They can't ever have children. Some of them say, look, I want to have kids, but I can't have kids because I got to fear about when my kids go to school, how they're going to get picked on, man. All right, or when I go, one of them said, their father said they don't want to go nowhere with them because if they get seen with them out in public, everybody knows she's a porn star, man. That's bringing shame onto that father and that whole family. How's it going, man?
What's going on over there?
Construction, man.
Another big building.
Another big building, man. Hey, like the scripture said, they're gonna build, but the Lord is gonna throw down, man. They just wasting their time, man.
Hope so.
Hey, me too, man.
Too
But-
many of 'em.
What was that?
I said there's too many of 'em.
It's too. You're right. It's way too many of them, man. The Lord got to hit that factory reset button, man. Hey, it's the spirit, man. The spirit. Hey, I don't know who the fuck that was as far as what nation, but he looked like an Edomite. I threw a slick shot at it like, hey, they gonna build, but the Lord gonna throw down. You know about that as far as what was that Malachi in the first chapter. All right, the Edomites gonna build, the Lord gonna throw down. But he said, you know what they build over there? I wanted to get smart. I'm like, nigga, or he said, you know what they doing over there? Like, nigga, what it look like? It's construction going on over there. Use your eyes. But, hey, he wound up saying, hey, there's too many of them. Yeah, they need to get rid of. There's too many of them. Yeah, they need to get rid of these damn Edomites. Too many of them. They multiplying on the face of the earth, but the Lord gonna fix that. All right. But nevertheless, getting back into my little closing statements about these women doing bringing shame into their family. One chick talking about she do OnlyFans. Her father know about it. Her whole family disown her, but her father know about it, and he's support her and what she doing because she can pay the bills. But then his co-workers be making fun and saying shit to him like, yo, your father may be trying to be strong for your ass, but this nigga might go off himself because he coming to the realization of this here shit. But saying all that to say this, if we was to go on Lord's will, we don't go on this here much further. But 10 years from now, what do you think once the witchcraft goes off the minds of these people, the souls of men, as we were speaking about, once this witchcraft is off these people and they realize that they've destroyed their lives for some little likes or whatever when they was 19, 20, 21, now they want a real man. Where are all the good men at? And they all find out that, damn, she fine, she bad. She got a, they talk about these women, right? Yeah, you could be fine as hell, but then you got a loud, clamorous ass mouth. Ain't no man gonna want to put up with that. You could be quiet, fine as hell, and feminine, but you way overweight. Don't no man want to put up with that. You could be fit, friendly, feminine, and all these things, but loud and clamorous. Don't nobody want nothing to do with that. Or you could be all of these things, fit, feminine, friendly, quiet, and everything, but you got to pass in OnlyFans. You only did OnlyFans for 2 months. You did OnlyFans for 2 videos. You did porno for 2 videos. You was an ex-stripper. Don't nobody really want that, man. But see, what makes them to do all these things, man? The witchcraft that's over their mind. All right, we gotta go. The witchcraft over their minds and their eyes, man. The souls of men is taken up out of here, man. All right. We always bring that out, but also as a boy, a young boy, you could fuck up your life before it even begins. You under that witchcraft, that enticement of the rappers. I want to live like these rappers. I'm 15 years old. I'm gonna tat up my face. This was a trend back in the days. I'm gonna tat up my face so I'll be forced not to get a job. I gotta succeed at rapping, or you gonna succeed being in a penitentiary or in a grave. See, you thinking about these things, but then you got your whole life thrown away and everything else like that. Seen a little young Jake the other day at the gas station. He probably was still in high school. Gold grill, all tatted up. This nigga got a little donut on the front of his tire. Still riding like, look, you gotta get this shit changed for you. All that shit you doing, hanging out with these bitches and smoking weed, none of that is more important than getting this goddamn tire. Because what happens if you riding around with a shit bag and you ain't getting these bitches no more? But see, I understand his mindset. Nah, I'm about to just go get it for right now. Fuck this other shit. This shit ain't even important. I got hoes right now. That's that. Your mind is blinded, man. You don't really see what's really, really important out here. And that's what the majority of these people don't really see what's really important out here, man. I'm going to close out with this in Romans. Because, see, these people, this is how these people are living. Romans. I have to read all of this. I might have to read all this, but I'm gonna read this down for hopefully Lord's will don't get cut off. But I'm gonna read this. Romans 8 and 6, verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, and to be spiritually minded is life and peace. This is what these people lack out here, to be spiritually minded. See in the future how things are gonna really go with things. They're living after their flesh, the right now. I want to be good right now, but they don't think about tomorrow. They don't think about down the line. Like the little young boy getting all tatted up, gold grills, go get locked up, go catch some charges, being a dope boy and all these different things. You did all this by the time before you was 21 years old. Now you 21 years old and you about to go try to go move out your mama house and go get your own spot, but you got this large criminal record. You can't go get a job, can't go get a house, now you relegated for the rest of your life being a dope boy, scammer, robber, or jack boy, something like of that sense, right? Same with the women. Hey, you started stripping at 18. Nowadays the new thing is OnlyFans type shit. You doing that at 18. You getting out there. By the time you 23, 24, 25, you 30 years old, you got your kids. It's hard out here being independent and strong and all these different things. I need somebody to help me pay some bills. But you got 5 kids and we all done seen you bust down. We know you cinnamon from the fucking strip club and shit. Or we all got your OnlyFans because it's all on your Instagram and you've been spamming us with the shit all goddamn day long. We know we not finna go wife your ass to fuck up and take care of your mistakes. But see, these are the people that were living after the flesh. Be carnally minded, man. Thinking after just what's pleasing to their flesh for today. But to be spiritually minded, hey, we had to forsake everything. We cut all these things off so that, hey, we can get closer to the Lord. And the Lord will wake us up. The Lord will provide for us into these things so we don't get caught off guard with these things, man. The rest of these people are still carnally minded, walking around after the flesh, man. But we walking after the spirit right about now, man. We see, hey, look, arise ye and depart from it. This is not your rest. We know, hey, don't cleave onto that. You don't get on the Titanic. The Titanic is sinking, man. You don't want to be going down this path, but look, you have those that don't have that eye salve, that spirit, or walking after the spirit to even see these things, man. Again, they can only see for today, and they can't see for tomorrow, what's down the line, man. These women that's doing OnlyFans and stuff can't never see if they ever have kids. What would happen if their kids go to school and their parents or their mama get looked up online, they making fun of Lil Ray Ray at school? What he might do? He might go and off himself, go kill himself. Or what if they have a daughter that's doing that? Well, my mama did it, so I'm going to go and do it. And then now she can't go get nobody to pair a bond with her as well either. All right? Same with the little boys, man. You got these little boys, you know, they talk about this, what's his name, FBG Duck, his mama, going back and forth with other street niggas and gangsters. Come to find out, all her sons that all got murked in some street life type of shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, when they gonna realize, but this is all living after the flesh. And you on the internet back and forth with some gang members and shit, like, you living after the flesh, not living after the spirit. If you was living after the spirit, you know what I shouldn't be doing is bringing harm to my family. If I want my kids to be lit, how you gonna go online beefing with gang members and expect not to catch the smoke on the back end, man? All right, finishing this here off. It says, verse 6, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the laws of the Most High, neither indeed can it be. All right, because hey, that's contrary. You gotta deny yourself and follow the Lord, man. Have to have faith, man. Not just pleasing the flesh, man. All right, with lacking discipline. All right. But ye are not of the flesh, but in the spirit. If so, that the spirit of the Most High dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his. So if you're not coming after the same way of the Lord, man, then you're not of the Lord, man. All right, you can say what you want to say, but this is not living the way that the Lord will have you live. All right. It says, and if Hamashiach, all right, we got to go ahead and close out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashemi, Hawshah, Bahashim, Rakakodash. The Bible said the apostles and elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and ever will. And salutation, much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth. And endure in afflictions, defeat, and edify the elect. Until next time, stay strong.